note and quote moment for this week. Let me make sure. All right. Of all the weeks, somebody posts, one person posts in Reverend Night Nation, it would be the sports babe, Shelby McDonald, who already ready for 8 o'clock tonight when her Georgia Bulldogs, her alma mater, will be taking on the Ohio State. Welcome, Sports Bay. Glad to have a comment from you. We hadn't seen you in a while. We know Armani wasn't too pleased to hear Go Dogs, especially since Alabama will be playing in the Citrus Bowl or some type of toilet bowl today.
Oh, not the toilet bowl.
That's all right.
No bowl of real significance. No bowl of significance.
That's all right. Okay.
All right, gentlemen. Let's jump into this real quickly. Dope Note and Cope. We'll go around. We'll start with you, Red. We'll go Red, Armani, Coach, then the Red. What you got for us, Red?
I'm doping on the Lakers. The Lakers and Hawks last night, my two teams. Lakers came out victorious. The Hawks didn't want it. The Hawks are falling apart. Coach need to go. Star player, he probably need to go. The Lakers ain't doing too better, but they got the victory last night, so that's something about that. And it wasn't really much I was doping on this week. I didn't write too much down, so I guess it wasn't too much I was doping on this week. So I just had to give it to the Lakers for being my annual Red Roll Bowl. But I'm not happy with either team.
Yeah. All right. You just need one moment to dope. That's all you need, brother, on this show. All right, Armani, what are you doping on?
I am doping on one LeBron, the GOAT, James. At 38 years old. Oh, by the way, happy birthday, GOAT. At 38 years old, dropping 47 points. Wow. That is wild for his age. He's still proving that he got it. And he can still get the job done. So happy birthday, GOAT. You're doing your thing, man. Keep doing it. You know, you can still get it done. We know you can still get it done.
All right.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent.
Coach, what are you doping on?
My dope moment goes to the NCAA bowl games. Not the big two that's coming up tonight, but the lesser bowls are having some pretty good contests. Looking at Notre Dame and South Carolina last night, Kansas and Arkansas going to triple overtime. The lesser bowls are trying to say, hey, we got some good action going on with our teams too. So big ups to the bowl season so far. And I hope the two big ones tonight can measure up to what they're doing. No blowouts, just two good games tonight.
Now, the two big ones you were referring to before I get into them.
Awesome.
Is not Alabama, Kansas State, right? You never. I just made sure because I didn't remember that being a big game, even though they played tonight.
Oh, I might at least y'all Sugar Bowl on mine. That's always a respectable one.
I just didn't know that was a big game. I want to make sure we were clear that wasn't one of the big.
I'm gonna let them have it. They deserve to be where they at. So I'm gonna let them have it. All right.
Well, your team blowing two games. Let us have it. Be sure. Okay. All right.
Yeah, dog. Oh boy. Keep your line.
I am doping on one Luka Doncic. The dude balled out the other day, posting a triple-double that had not been done. 60 points, 20 rebounds, and 10 assists. Luka balled out, and he's showing everybody he's the real deal. So I'm going to give my dope moment to Luka.
Winning.
All right. We're going to go back to you, Armani. What are you noping
on? Man, I'm noping on Arthur Smith. Sir, you have no kind of pizzazz when it comes to your playbook. None at all. I mean, we could have won the game last week against Baltimore, but your play calling is so vanilla. Your route schemes are very, very, very they're not wide enough for you to be trying to push the ball down the field the way that you tried to do last week. So Arthur Smith, you got to get better with the play calling, man. I'm not impressed at all. You got to get better with that.
No! No! No!
All right, we got a Falcons fan who's a bit disgruntled this morning. Coach, what do you know about?
My note on the North Carolina State radio announcer who had to say one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in American broadcasting history. He was Gary Hahn is his name, and he was just telling everybody what's going on in the football game. And he made the statement, and this is what he said, and I quote, "Down among all the illegal aliens in El Paso is UCLA 14 and Pittsburgh 6. Are you absolutely kidding me, dude? You're going to say down among all the illegal aliens? And everybody heard you, and now he's been suspended indefinitely. And I think they're going to make that definite because he's the basketball voice, too. I think he's about to be on his way out making a dumb statement like that. So, note moment, Gary, North Carolina State radio announcer.
Oh, come on!
All right, I am noping on one. Alabama Crimson Tide playing an insignificant bowl game on today. The mighty have fallen.
Oh,
Real, save some now. Save some for me, real. Save some for me, real.
We'll see if this train will continue to go off the wrong track.
Save some for me, real. Save some for me.
Here we go.
All right.
Oh,
go.
boy,
What are you noping on, Red? What you got?
Nah, I'll be coping with what you were noping with in a minute. I didn't want you to give all our ammunition away, because don't worry, I'm finna drop a bomb in my coat. I'm on nope now, right?
Yes.
Okay, nope. I'm noping with ESPN thinking that Peyton Manning and not T. Martin was the 1998 national champion. They showed a picture last night they showed a picture of Peyton Manning last night during the Tennessee Clemson broadcast, and on the caption they had 1998 national champion. Now, last time I checked, Peyton Manning and T. Martin look nothing alike. But let me clarify for Tennessee fans so you won't get confused. It was T. Martin, the brother, who won the national championship in 1998. It was Peyton Manning, the Euro, who choked away the national championship in 1997. Okay, so let's get it clarified now. I don't want nobody going nowhere sounding stupid saying Peyton Manning is a 1998 national champion. No, he's not. He's a 1997 national choker. T. Martin is the 1998 national champion. Okay, so let's clarify for all the Tennessee fans and all the college football fans. Okay, Peyton Manning is not your 1998 national champion. Nope to ESPN for not knowing that easy, simple little fact that everybody watching college football 20 years ago would have known. Thank you.
All righty.
Epic fail.
All right. Coach, what are you coping on as we conclude this segment? Don't open cope.
Well, I can make mine easy. I'm coping with one Armani Ashante Newsom. Ladies and gentlemen, I gave him a middle name on this Alabama talk that he's going to have to listen to the entire broadcast. Armani.
We're not even in it.
Has pointed out that you all have a 12 o'clock kickoff time. They said that's reserved for Vanderbilt. So, Armani, I'm coping with you, my brother.
We're not even in it.
Not a 12 o'clock kickoff.
Y'all are just gonna ruin my. Why y'all picking on the money?
We got every right to do what we got to do.
Yeah, we're not even in it. Why are y'all talking about us?
Stop crying and take it. Just take it. You gonna get it. And I'm coming for your neck. Matter of fact, I wish Coach and Rev would shut up because they killing my coat.
Well, you better come with it. We got every right to say what we got to say too. This ain't the Red Show. It's the Red and Rev featuring Coach Show. So we don't have to tell our comments just so Red can shine. Let's move forward.
Oh, don't worry. I'm a shy.
All
Unless
right.
our money tired of listening to it.
I'm
If you
coping
tired,
now.
just say it. I'll spare you, buddy.
Now, Red, I'm coping now. Don't interrupt my cope.
Oh, go ahead,
All right.
Real.
All
Go
right.
ahead. Go ahead.
Silence. All right.
Go ahead.
I am coping on the fact that we are now at the end of one of the worst eras, one of the worst contract signings in Atlanta Falcon history. We are finally at the end of it. The Matt Ryan getting signed for $30 million per is officially over. And guess what the Falcons had to show for it? No winning seasons, no playoff wins. And Reb was ahead of this before the signed contract. I remember being on the crush and telling everybody this will be a disaster. And the Reverend Sports prophesied this to be true. So I am coping on the fact that we signed a bum quarterback that I told them not to sign for $30 million. And we have no winning seasons to show for it and no playoff victories. I'm done.
Now, Real, I don't know how serious we're going to take that coat, being that some people think you're a Kansas City fan. So you're going to have to clear it up now. You're a part-time Falcons fan.
Well, let's be clear. How did I start rooting for Patrick Mahomes? Because of whom?
That's not going to do you any favors, Real.
Because of whom? One, Matthew Ryan, who I said the Falcons should not have signed, who I knew was a bum before he gave, well, especially after he gave up the lead. And then the following season, I told them, don't sign it. And you were one co-signing at that time. And they went to the playoffs, pay my quarterback. And then we said, but glad you're on the right side of the argument before it was ultimately decided.
Well, I was on the right side then. I just knew what was going to happen.
No, you weren't on the right side.
Yeah, I was.
No, you weren't. Signing Matt Ryan was not the right side of the argument.
What was not the right side?
Talking about pay the man market value was not the right side when we knew that.
No, I said I knew they were going to pay him market value. I was like, yeah, I didn't want to pay.
You were believing he should get that contract. You were showing his stats because you were caught up on Stat Ryan at the time.
Stat Ryan.
I knew they were going to do it. I didn't think they should have. I didn't think they should have gave him the whole value. I thought maybe a few dollars less, not the whole market value.
All right, we'll pull the
tape. Bottom line, we both agreed that it was a mistake.
It was a mistake. Well, all right, now what did you got us all set up for this epic?
Well, it's kind of watered down. I try my best to give it some punch.
Give it to me.
I guess not Red, but Bama fans will be coping with the Sugar Bowl and the noon start time. Now, Real, let's be real. There's some matinee kids movies that don't start at 12 o'clock noon. Okay, we have to decide. I never thought that any Saturday would come and we have to decide between Bama football and SpongeBob SquarePants or the Paw Patrol TV film. Boy, how the mighty have fallen. But the Sugar Bowl is still there for you sweet turds. But Lord, 12 o'clock noon, that is the time we reserve for the not so exciting games. So let's go ahead and get the turds out the way. But we know who will be showing up in prime time and the big time 3:30, 4 o'clock game. It won't be the turds. Probably won't be the turds for a long time. So sorry, I didn't know Coach Rev was going to kill you. I thought I was going to have this moment to you. But hey, you deserve it. Like Rev said, you deserve it.
Hey,
first of all,
what did I do?
Armani, I'm with you. It's not, and first of all, y'all are wrong. It's not a 12 o'clock kickoff. I just checked. It's 11. I'm sorry.
No,
we're not in the game.
I know.
We're not even in the playoff. Y'all need to focus on.
That's how you go, Armani. Armani, fight back. I'm with you.
We are remembering you bringing that stupid element on the show.
He can fight back all he wants to. It ain't gonna change.
Because we won a national championship when I bought it. So what? Anyway, we're not even in it this year. Y'all still talking about us. I appreciate that though.
You You brought it and you won an SEC championship because you weren't a regular on the show until recently. And that was last year when you all beat Georgia in the SEC championship. You brought the elephant.
That's what I said, the SEC championship.
Yeah, but you lost the national championship. You said you brought a national championship. It was SEC.
Okay. Nah. I mean, yeah, we're not even in it, and y'all still worried about us. That's crazy.
We ain't worried about it. We just reminded you.
For what? I know we're not in it.
Well, let me ask you this question. Do you have your sons with you today?
No.
Okay, so you don't have to choose SpongeBob or Alabama. Okay, that's cool.
Oh, yeah, dog. Take it and run. Take it and run.
All right, let's see what
I'm
Reverend.
surprised you didn't know that was coming. You didn't think this was
the
coming
nation
today?
wide open.
No,
You
because
thought-
it's not about us. We're not even in it. So why would we even be busy? Y'all playing.
Don't worry about
You can't be a dynasty playing at 12 o'clock.
It sounds like a typical LeBron fan crying because he getting clowned.
We already had a dynasty. That's already sitting student. We done already had one.
Armani, don't worry. The nation is coming, baby. They
No, don't worry, because when y'all say it's over, I want to keep this episode right here. Right here. Keep the same episode, okay?
I'm letting you know. 263.
Keep it.
Save it. Save it now. Save it now.
You ain't scaring nobody with this false bravado. The team not in it. We don't care what you're going to be talking about next year. We talking about this year.
You ain't been on since what happened last year, so we're not paying you no mind.
No
Oh, yes, we are. Yes, we are.
You ain't been on
You
since.
not paying no
You
mind.
ain't been on since. We're not paying you no
Shelby,
mind.
speak. Shelby, you can speak. You can speak, Shelby. You better watch out, because she come for you, it's going to be over with. Shelby, you can talk.
She ain't been on.
Armani, let me calm you down.
For real. I never thought a LeBron fan like Armani would be so worked up. Lord have mercy.
Shelby Nopin on the SEC this bowl season. Mitch, what's going on? My classmate doping on the bowl games. Been great. Shared the same sentiment of coach. Shelby coping on Clemson's kicker. Bless his heart. Good morning, all the way in Utah, man. You up there with the Mormons, brother. All right. Be safe up there, brother. All right. The sports babe. Bama got the moon.
Moon kickoff. Yeah. Not noon, but moon. What in the world?
Nopin laugh out loud at Reds basketball teams. Good morning to you, mother dear.
Hey,
Shelby saying Bama has a noon kickoff, basically the Vandy kickoff. Mitch coping with unrealistic Falcons fans' expectations.
There you go.
Sister Harris, she doping on what Armani doped on the Kings, 47 points on his 38th birthday in his 20th year and almost a triple-double. Call the roll, Sister Harris. Why don't you? All right, Morris doping on Tennessee, finishing strong last night by beating.
I'm glad they beat Dabo to death.
Clemson last night. Sister Harris noping on Anthony Davis. Bill Walton impression. Tired. Maurice Thor noping on ESPN showing Peyton Manning winning the Natty in 98. Someone at ESPN needs to work on that fact checking. That's what Red talked about. Whole government name. Love it. She says she got time today. Take this L.
She got time today, buddy.
No. If you ain't show your face, you ain't showed your face since you took the L that you were here for last year for. So I'm not doing that with you. No.
Cool.
How that work?
Pele, the king of soccer, will be missed for sure. We'll talk about that in just a moment. So now that Matt Ryan's contract is done and over, where will you direct your fire and brimstone next, Rev? It's going to still be directed at Matt Ryan until the team has bounced back, because the fiasco is all about his contract. They got to redo the roster because they built a roster around that scrub. So that's going to take about 2 or 3 more years.
Stay on them, Rev. Don't let off of the Matt Ryan. Don't let up off of him.
No, I can't do it. All right, gentlemen.
Got to be consistent.
Thank you, Reverend Night Nation, for sharing. Y'all can see that Armani got his brownies burned this morning. He's a little upset.
I didn't even.
Yo,
I didn't do this. All right. Okay.
What do you think about picking up Lamar? I don't really think that's in the Falcons.
Dude, That wasn't the worst idea. Nobody want another team trash. Will you Falcon fans stop trying to get other teams trash? He is a Baltimore Raven, and that's where he gonna stay. We find our own quarterback. Find your own quarterback. That's what we think about Lamar Jackson. And he hurt anyway. Sit up and talking about a player that's hurt. I don't care if he faking hurt, really hurt. The fact is, no, he's the Ravens' problem, okay? I don't want nobody's already nicked up from playing 5 or 6 years with the Ravens. I want my own quarterback.
All right, here's another follow-up. Let him. Why do you think he's trash? I don't think we could find a leader, that's for sure.
I don't think he's trash. I don't think we can find a leader.
Why do you think he's trash?
Why do you think he's trash?
You just
Did I
called
say he was trash, or did I just say I didn't want him?
Nobody else trash quarterback.
Oh, yeah, I don't want him because he hurt right now. That's why he's trash. Is he playing? No. So he's trash right now.
Okay. All right, we'll move on real quickly. Maurice is trying to help Armani out. What's wrong with going to the Sugar Bowl? That's where they used to send the SEC champion back in the day. Now, remind you, Morris Throw, what was the key word in your key phrase in your sentence back in the day? We're in a new day. So let's move on. Go hug Big Al and have some tuna and champagne.
Tuna and champagne.
Armani, this was directed to you. You won the wrong ship.
Okay, Shelby. I haven't seen your face since, so I'm not paying you not paying you no mind.
Nobody, once again, if you wanted to say something, you could have said it. If you did take the opportunity, whose fault is that? Winston said, what's going on, fellas? What's going on?
What's up, Winston? What's up, bud?
The folk, they may be late, but they're on time. The folk are ready to chime in.
You missed somebody, Rev.
Oh, I did miss. I forgot about
Kelly Kell.
Hey, y'all. Hey, she sounded like that gospel song. Hey, y'all. How you been doing? What's up, Kelly Kell? Jackson State's finest is too.
You got that right. You should definitely one of Jackson State's finest.
Yeah,
I'm talking about with my eyes, Kelly. Finest.
TC Taylor.
Look, Kelly got the nice little Scully representing on the profile pic, the red lipstick. Please don't hurt us, Kelly Kell. All right.
Kelly always looking good. Appreciate it.
Move on, man. Let's move on. The soccer legend Pele passes away. This is a real moment right here. Many of us who never follow soccer definitely heard
draft, Mitchell. The draft.
Definitely heard the name Pele. Pele the Great passes away this past week. We'll open it up. Anybody got anything to say about Pele?
I mean, when you talk soccer, if you don't say his name at any time, then you know nothing about the history of soccer. We talking about a man that won, not one, like LeBron did, not one, not two, but 3 World Cups. And World Cups are not easy to do when you're playing against everybody in the world. So he won 3. He scored more than anybody, and he was revered. You got all these young guys who coming up, they all said they want to be like him because he was the king of soccer. Pele got kids involved. He got adults. He got everybody gravitated to him because he never turned anybody down for coming to have an audience or whatever. And like I said, like they call it football over there. When you say that over in Brazil and over in those countries, you got to mention Pele. And this was a heavy hitter to everybody who lost him. We knew he was sick, but, you didn't expect him to die. But time marches on, and it's a shame. But Pele was soccer. Simple as that.
Armani, are you familiar with Pele?
I'm not very familiar with Pele.
Yeah, I'm not. I know.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with him. I've heard of him. I heard he revolutionized the game, and then that's about it.
Yeah, you're a younger guy. I didn't necessarily think you had heard of Pele, and this is not to throw no shade,
right?
Because really, that was the name that many of us heard about soccer, and that was really the only recognizable name. When, especially in my era in the '80s, as a young kid, when the few black folk that I knew played soccer, they would always say, if they were practicing mimicking somebody, they would say Pele, and do a little dribble with the foot and things of that nature. So that's really where I became familiar with Pele, because soccer, especially in urban communities, because I went to all black schools until I went to grad school, you didn't have a lot of people playing soccer. Now you got a lot more black kids playing soccer in these days because you got that middle class black generation of mothers who don't want their sons playing football. So now they're leading them into sports like soccer. But if you were my age in the 80s and you saw anybody playing soccer, they were going to associate Pele with soccer. So I didn't want to, I'm not saying, did you know him, throw shade. I understand.
Right. Yeah, I understand that.
Because he was pretty much towards the end of his career when I was younger, you know, and I got a few years on you, so I didn't expect you to know too much about Pele. Red, you got anything about Pele? Because we know Coach saw him during his rookie year.
I knew it was coming. You just trying to build up to it. I knew it was coming. I knew it. I knew you building up to
his
it.
whole career live and in living color. Well, before they were color TV. But go ahead, Red.
Rev, I guess my experiences are similar to yours. Like I say, me and you around the same age, so the few instances that where we did see soccer play or heard, people playing soccer, you would hear them shout out Pele with the little, when they do the little leg kick, never knowing exactly what they meant. I mean, now you learn through, as time goes on, what they mean now and who was this guy and how big of a legend he was. I mean, three-time World Cup champion. I know that's huge because like Coach said, it take a lot just to win one World Cup. Then I find out he's the all-time soccer goals leader. So no one in the history of the game has scored more goals than him. Then being from Brazil, and we know how serious and how big of a sport in soccer. I mean, how big of a sport soccer is in Brazil. So add all of that into it. Him being from Brazil, him being a great soccer player, him being the World Cup champion. It seems like this is, like people say, he is the real GOAT. And the real GOAT of soccer, that's big overseas, where it's football in America, it's American football, but when you hear football outside of America, they're talking about soccer. So he's as big as international star as you have. I guess I'm so thankful to learn so much about the guy that I've been learning over the past few days and learning how huge he was. And all I can say is sports world lost another legend, a soccer legend. Pele, Brazilian soccer champ. Rest in peace, buddy. You will be forever remembered and always missed.
And I want to just thank those in Revenite Nation who posted some good comments in terms of, especially Armani. There were a couple of people who wanted to encourage you to watch the YouTube film on Pele, so you kind of get to know him and things.
I'm gonna definitely do that.
I'm gonna do it as well because I never really watched him play or any of his background stuff. But of course, if you saw anything with soccer, Pele name that was associated. So we want to thank Revenite Nation for your comments, Coach. Thank you for your timely comments, because you definitely added a whole lot to the commentary on the show. You could, because you did probably see him play more than the rest of them.
Hey, he played in America too. Now he played for the New York team, the New York Cosmos, in the North American League. I go on and on.
What years were that?
75, 77 in that area. Yeah.
None of us were born but you.
That's true, Coach. Now that's true.
Fine. I don't mind being old.
I never knew there was American League until MLS. I knew they had like these little bootleg leagues that never panned out.
Yeah, he played in North American.
New York Cosmos. Yeah, I would have never got that.
I lived in New York in the 80s. Ain't never heard of the New York Cosmos.
Yeah, the Cosmos were big time. They were a good soccer team with him on there. And I mean,
when you said before around 1975, that white
I know that erased everything.
I know Pele is older. Jim Martin talking about when he was a kid. I know he was much older than me. So Jim Martin, if you just barely remember when you was a kid, I know me and Rev ain't gonna remember too much.
For sure. Good morning to you, Jill. Glad to have you, man. And
Jerry, I think Jerry Martin.
Jerry Martin, North American Soccer League NASL. Kelly taking care of her.
Don't worry about Kelly. Hey,
Mississippi.
I always tell them all the time.
Y'all leave Coach alone.
Everybody got to grow old.
We're going to listen to Kelly's advice. We're going to leave Coach's age alone.
For how long?
Even though he did see Pele.
Into the next topic.
When he saw Pele when he had to adjust the antennas back in the day in the house.
Well, look, I told you. It's gonna be a new year next year. Everything gonna change.
Happy New Year, Joe Black. Look, Joe, I'm dead serious, man. I'm coming to Jacksonville at some point in 2023. I need to be blessed.
And go adjust your YouTube.
We're gonna work on getting you back on Facebook. I gotta figure that out. That's gonna be one of my major goals for 2023. Let's see. Winston Thornton Pele died at 82, so his prime was back in the 60s. Yeah, that was Coach.
See, there you go. So you're gonna say something. All right.
So you were a teenager in the 70s, right?
You were?
Yeah, he was.
Teenager in the 70s, Coach?
Yeah, he was.
I was older. Okay. Man, I can't wait, boy. I can't wait.
Before the 70s ended, Coach was a teenager. That's facts. All right.
Coach, you were born in the 50s, right?
No.
NASL, not another Sugar Bowl loss.
Oh, come on, Armani. I'm gonna stop on my money. That's all right. Y'all
all right, let's
go Kansas State.
I'm gonna let it. They got it. I'm gonna let
let's move on because we got to make some picks before 12 o'clock because we know a team.
Here you go.
As a kickoff around that time that we're picking the game, so we need to.
Yeah, I got a Paw Patrol film to watch. Let's go now.
All right, well, listen. We're coming down to the end of the NCAA picks. Road is looking good for Red Roads right now, and we need to see what these standings look like. All right, let me put them up real quickly.
Put them up.
See if I can get my back to back.
Here we go.
Put him up.
Red Rose is looking real good right about now. He has a 2-game lead with at least about 6-7 games left on the docket. Coach is behind him 2 games. I'm behind 4 games, so I'm still mathematically in it, but not really. And Armani is just kicking today. All right. So Coach is really a 2-man race. So you and Red got to really be on it because, you know, your COVID championship is about over.
I keep
removing that mask. Coach ain't having too much.
You know what, Rev? I noticed something about you, and I'm gonna call it out in front of everybody. When you miss a show, you come back fired up and be firing bullets all over the place. I noticed that.
I was on last week's show.
That's what I thought. Weren't you on last week?
I wasn't on 2 weeks ago, I think. 2 or 3. Yeah.
You had to come out with some zingers, but that's okay. I got surprised. It's
coming. All right. Well, Joe Black.
We appreciate the bullets, for real.
Joe Black renaming Red. He said, "Reed, don't Falcon."
Reed.
Now, if that wasn't a mistake, Joseph, you the one that's falconing right now. I sure hope that wasn't a mislight.
Dante called out the contributor, Armani, last at college. And if you need help,
we need to replace our money with Dante.
Armani and Bama participation.
Come on, Armani. I'm not God, dog, man. That's okay.
Coach, you can't save him. You might as well just laugh like the rest of us.
All
right. Just laugh like the rest of us.
Armani, you drinking a delicious Bojangles drink. You might want to. I hope you got some Bojangles breakfast too.
Lord.
All right, man. Let's get into these.
They say on breakfast at Bojangles?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Where you been?
I know. I'm just messing around.
What's that bold raisin cinnamon thing they got? That little biscuit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, I love their biscuits now. I love their biscuits.
You got to get that breakfast one. They put that little swirl on it and got raisins. Man,
man,
it's good. It's
making me want to go upstairs and get my cinnamon swirl.
Rev, Joe
Now,
said
Rev,
that was autocorrect. I know you're red. All right.
Now, Rev, you know that little Bojangles biscuit can't beat old school Miss Winter cinnamon rolls now.
Hey, that's the one I got. That's the one I got upstairs. The Miss Winter cinnamon
This one
swirl.
got the I give it. That's a cinnamon roll. But
That's a biscuit. Whose biscuits are better, Miss Winter or Bojangles?
I would go
No.
with Bojangles.
I gave y'all a hard one.
I would go with Bojangles, to be honest.
Bojangles be hitting now.
All right, we got to go ahead and pick these games because Alabama about to kick off. So we got to pick them. All right, let's do this. Utah versus Penn State on today. That is the top 22 teams in the top 25. So, Red, you're in the lead. You want to pick or you want to pass?
I think I'll pass it. I'll pass. Go ahead.
All right. So, Armani, we'll start with you. We'll go Armani, Coach, me, and then Red. All right. Who you got, Armani?
Penn State.
Oh, yeah, that is true. Yeah, that ham biscuit is the truth. That pork chop one is good, too.
Oh,
all
yeah.
right. Armani got Penn State. Bo-Berry, that's it, Winston. You on it, bro? Yes. Yes, you own it, man. You can't, Coach. There's a comment for you. You can't compare biscuit to a sip.
I just did. So what? That's right, Kelly. Miss Winter. That's right. Yes, sir.
So Utah. Armani, you got Penn State. Any reason why?
I think they're a little bit stronger than Utah defensively.
Okay. All right, Coach.
I'm going with Utah because as I saw them firsthand against USC, even though they caught us with tires on flat quarterback, but Utah is tough. And James Franklin, I don't know how he does big games, but hey, I go with Utah.
I'm rolling with you, Coach. I'm rolling with the Utes as well. I'm a believer. I saw them, pretty much do a good job twice against USC. They beat USC twice. That kept them out of the college playoff. I think USC's offense is way more prolific than the Penn State Nittany Lions. So give me USC. Red, you're doing your homework over there. I see you. Who you got?
Sure. I'm going to go ahead and go with Utah. I don't trust Franklin in no big game. I had to remember who I'm dealing with, James Franklin. Utah, and definitely Utah.
All right, on to the next one. USC versus Tulane. Another game with two top 25 teams in it. Coach, it's on you. Tell us why USC wins this game.
Caleb Williams said he's playing. He's not ducking out of the game. He said he was hurt, but he said he's going to play. Now, they're going to be hamstrung. Still got the main running back out. Tulane is sneaky good on defense. They got to watch them. They got a real good defense, but I just think USC's offense is too much. Now, if Tulane come out any kind of offense against that hole-in-the-wall defense we got, they might sneak a win. But I'm going with USC because I think Caleb Williams is going to do his thing.
I don't think we need to make this as suspenseful as Coach just made it. USC big. Tulane in Conference USA, they've not seen a quarterback like Caleb Williams. They haven't played against talent like USC. So let's go with USC big. Ray, who you got?
USC, it's unanimous.
All right. Armani?
USC.
USC. All right, let's move on to the next game. The 12 o'clock special. Alabama versus
Lord.
State. And I'm going for the upset today.
What?
State over Alabama. Reason being, Alabama had a lot going on during the end of the season. They had a lot of folks transfer out of Alabama in the transfer portal. I don't think Alabama will be motivated. They normally don't do well in games where they are not playing in the college playoff. They lost that game. Was it Boise State or somebody a few years ago when they weren't playing in the college playoff? So Alabama's not enthused. They are not playing for anything of any significance. And when they are in those positions, typically you do not see a Nick Saban Alabama team. So Kansas State, this is like their college playoff to beat Nick Saban, to beat a team that has a championship DNA. So this is why I'm going with Kansas State. Who you got, Red?
I can't go with you on this one, Rev. It's still Nick Saban. It's still young. We still got players that's playing for a little something. They got some pride. They got draft stock. I think it's gonna be some players playing for something for Alabama tomorrow. And then it's Nick Saban. He's just not gonna let his team come out there and look like complete trash. I don't care what you say. Bryce Young just not gonna look pedestrian out there. These guys gonna come out there and play. They gonna represent for Alabama. If they don't, Armani, you got way more to worry about than this clown to you. If y'all get beat by K-State in the Sugar Bowl. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that Alabama will represent for the SEC, represent for that school, represent for the Terps. If they don't, boy, not only will I take a loss, not only will I be clowning you next weekend for believing in these sorry Terps, but I don't think it's gonna happen, Rev. I think Alabama gonna take care of business today. I would be shocked if they just come out and just show up.
All right, Armani, now before you make your pick, is my take off?
No.
Okay. I just want, just for the record, I ain't hating on Alabama. I'm just stating what has been when they're not in the college playoff. So I just wanted the Alabama guy to state that I'm not just talking out the side of my neck and trying to be funny.
And that's gonna make the clowning of you even worse for agreeing with that, Armani. You just fall right into the trap, don't you?
I mean, is it a trap? I mean, if it's the truth, it's the truth. So I mean,
Get out of here, man.
No matter
That's
how,
why we gonna keep clowning them. Let's keep clowning the Rev. Don't hold up and coach sit up and defending them. Keep clowning. He can take it. If it's the truth, it's the truth. Like Alabama playing at noon today against the Mickey Mouse Countdown show. So yeah, that's the truth. Let's go.
Go with it, Monty. What's your thought?
he done took all the time. I ain't gonna waste no time. Alabama.
Oh, I thought they were gonna lose today.
Any more comments, Armani? I'll mute Red if you want to say anything else.
Ain't no point. No, ain't no point.
They ain't got to say these turds are going down. No, they better win.
Coach, you got a lot on the line with this pick. What you got?
You pretty much said it all. And I know Alabama not used to waking up this early to play a bowl game. But it's the one word that you pointed out, Rev, and that's motivation. Do they have motivation to want to play this game because it's not a big-time game? See, that may take away from – I still think Alabama going to win, but I don't think it's just going to be a runaway. I think they're going to win just because of talent.
Okay. All right.
Okay. But just give me the win, baby.
Only one on the K-State train. All right, cool. I don't mind being on that train by myself. Here we go. Now we're into the college playoff, the games that really matter. Michigan versus TCU. Who we got going on now? Hold on. Is back on Redrick. Who you got, Red?
I'm gonna go on and say khaki pants. I don't need him getting upset early. That way folks will think that it's gonna be upset all day long. So no, khaki pants, you better handle your business and we're gonna handle our business and we'll see you in 2 weeks, Jimmy.
Armani.
I'm gonna go with khaki pants. I just think that it's his time. It's his time to go to a national championship, whether he wins or loses. But I don't see TCU doing anything to kind of throw them off. I think that Michigan has a great defense. I think they have an average quarterback, but he's athletic and he is doing everything that his head coach is telling him to do. And we all know that Jim Harbaugh is a great offensive mind. So I'm gonna go with Michigan. I just don't think TCU, even with Max Duggan, that they have enough to beat Michigan.
I'm going with TCU because Hacksaw Max Duggan, he gonna surprise people. They underrate him a lot, and they keep forgetting again. This is the same man who was in a Heisman Trophy finals. So, hey, TCU has survived by the skin of their teeth on these games. And if Michigan, if they can stop the run, Michigan gonna get hurt bad. That's the thing with Michigan. If they run all over and they just pound you into the ground. So if TCU can stop the run, TCU wins the ball game. So I'm going TCU.
This is a game that is set up for a prime upset. The reason why I say that, Michigan just beat Ohio State again. A lot of people predicted them to lose that game. So they're smelling themselves. TCU had a chance to go undefeated. They choked away the undefeated season in the Big 12 championship. They have extra motivation. Therefore, I'm going to go with Coach on the upset. TCU over Michigan. And some of this, let me be honest, has something to do with giving myself an outside chance to get back in the stand. So I know that mine is twofold, but I would not be surprised if TCU pulls off the upset. All right, on to the last game. Armani, you get to talk about Georgia first. Georgia versus the Ohio State Buckeyes. Are you going with the upset?
No, not this go round. And here's why. Georgia I think they're a little bit too much on defense for Ohio State. Georgia is gonna do what they always do and stay within their game plan. You're gonna see a lot of the mix and match with the run and the play action, and then maybe a little bit of RPO in there. I think Kirby Smart is gonna. You give Kirby Smart a couple weeks to prepare. He's gonna get you. And but what I will say is that one thing Georgia doesn't want is a shootout with Ohio State. CJ Stroud is light years ahead of being a quarterback than Stetson Bennett is, and that's why you don't want a shootout. You get to a shootout with Ohio State, you're in trouble. You got to contain those guys on the outside, which they will. I'm pretty sure they will. You put a safety help over there for Marvin Harrison Jr., and then that's going to be it. I mean, I just don't think that – I don't see this game being a shootout. If it does, Georgia's in trouble, but I just don't see it. So I'm going Georgia with a score probably, I'm going to say 34-17 UGA.
Let me ask you this, Armani.
Yes, sir.
How would you rate Tennessee's offense that had Hooker in comparison to Ohio State with Stroud?
They're right up there with them. I mean, to me, as far as big play receivers, they have Hyatt, and then right behind Hyatt is Marvin Harrison Jr., which they did. I think they did a good job of getting to Hooker, and that's why Georgia ultimately won that game. They didn't let Hooker sit in there and get comfortable and just throw darts all over the field. And I think that Ohio State have maybe a slightly better chance at it is because their offensive line is better than Tennessee's offensive line. So, I mean, CJ Stroud is number one against the blitz, but I think that Georgia won't blitz a lot, but they'll cover pretty good. So, and that's why I'm picking Georgia win ultimately. They'll try and make CJ Stroud kind of make some plays with his legs, which he hasn't been the best at either. I'm not gonna say he's awkward moving guy, but he doesn't have the finesse like a Bryce Young or TCU quarterback, Matt Duncan. So, but yeah, that's why. I mean, they're neck and neck as far as their offenses go, though. They right there with each other. I'm gonna give Ohio State the advantage though because of their offensive line is better.
Coach, would you agree with Armani's assessment?
Can you remember what all he said?
Okay. Yes, sir. I do.
All right, it's on you to pick.
This should be the national championship game. All doubt about it, this should be the national championship game, but it didn't work out that way because this one is, I mean, looking at the stats, is even all the way down. And they even in points of total yards, 492, 491, yards allowed, everything. I'm going to mention one name, and this is going to be the key to Georgia winning. Ladd McConkey.
Yep.
The wide receiver. If he can get loose, Georgia will win. Because, again, Ryan Day all week is practicing against those monsters in the middle, Bowers and Washington, those tight ends. He practices against that because he knows those tight ends are devastating. They will kill him easily if he doesn't practice against them. And as far as Ohio State on offense, their offense is going to be predicated on can they run? Because you know Ringo is going to be on Harrison Jr. That's going to be the matchup that everybody's going to talk about. So if Ohio State can establish any kind of run, they have a chance. This game is going to be very, very close. And it may come down to excuse me, a late field goal. So I'm picking Ohio State.
Okay. Now, have you gotten word if Ladd McConkey is going to play? Because he did get hurt in the SEC championship game.
I believe he's playing.
He's playing.
The wideout, he's going to be one of the wideouts that's going to be key. The wideouts are going to be key because you can ask any Georgia fan, who are the wideouts for Georgia right now? They probably might not know them because they've been in the background opposed to those tight ends, Washington and Bowers. So they're going to be key. If Stetson Bennett can get them in a rhythm, they win the game. If he can't, Ohio State going to win by a field goal.
So Ohio State wins not only because we need to get ground in the standings, but also because of what? What are they going to do to beat Georgia?
They're going to try to establish the run because Georgia know they can pass. I mean, it's not a mystery. They're going to try to establish a running game, and if they can keep that Georgia offense off the field, you know, that may help.
What's the likelihood of them being able to run?
They're not. Yeah.
I mean, hey, you got to try it. I mean, I'm looking at them. Yards rushing. They even.
So here's the thing, and I don't mean to interject, but here's the thing. Georgia, they can stop the run. By history, they struggle with the pass. Deep, big plays, that's not Georgia's strong suit.
Well, let me.
Wide receivers, that's not their. Kevin Ringo's not going to be able to hold Marvin Harrison by himself. I'm sorry.
Let me make one correct. They struggle against the pass against quarterbacks that they don't prepare for. Okay, let's go back in history. When they prepared for Jalen Hurts in that national championship game, they got destroyed because Tua came in the second half. When they prepared for Tua in the SEC championship game the following year, they were tearing Tua up, and then they got messed up because Jalen Hurts came in the game in the second half. You look at Hooker, they were prepared for him. He did absolutely nothing. Against LSU, they were ready for the guy in the SEC championship game. He got hurt. Then they brought the white quarterback in, and he did some damage, but the game was already over. So I think we got to be clear that they don't necessarily get lit up lately for quarterbacks who start the game and who they prepare for.
Bryce, I mean, in the SEC championship game, when they had Mechie and Jameson, they were getting torched down the field. But this year, I don't see it. But like I was saying, Rev, Kirby Smart, y'all not playing man. That ain't happening because Ringo he's not that good enough to be able to hold Marvin Harrison by himself. I just want to let Coach know that as he said Ringo will be on Harrison. He's not that good to hold him by himself. You let Marvin Harrison get one-on-one with Ringo, it's gonna be a trap meet.
But Georgia plays a lot of different multiple defenses, so
that's of course.
Red, go ahead and talk. I know you wait.
Now, Red.
Hold on right quick, Coach. We've done a lot.
No, go ahead. No. Let him talk, Red. I like listening to this. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Coach.
Now, do you think that Stetson Bennett if his time is taken away, will he be prone to make any mistakes? Because I know they give him a lot of time. Will he make mistakes if they take that time away from him and rush his throws?
Well, I think if they are not able to establish a running game, then yeah, that's when they be in trouble. But if they putting pressure on them, that Georgia can still run the ball, then that neutralizes that. And then also, if Todd Monken is doing his job, he can neutralize not having enough time by throwing these little short throws to the flat, swing passes, so forth and so on. And that's really what Georgia's offense is. Their offense is not designed to go 50, 40 yards down. That's just an occasional play here or there. So really, Ohio State making them throw short passes, that's really to Georgia's advantage. On the other side, that's what Ohio State needs to do to try to neutralize Georgia's pass rush is throw short passes. If they try to go for the home run, 30 and 40 yards and so forth and so on, they're going to get drilled like that because that's going to allow Jalen Carter to have a field day. Red, it's on you, brother. Tell us why Georgia's going to win.
What was the question you asking?
Tell us why Georgia's going to win. And going back to our first show, what made you popular is you almost predicted the correct score. Give us a score on what Georgia.
Okay. Georgia's going to win because we Georgia. Right this Ohio State off of our uniform. That's all they worth. Nothing but lint. Anyway, what's the score going to be? I'll go 40 plus the 17.
What? You gotta be kidding, man. You out of your mind. What?
I ain't out of my mind.
Tell us why. Hold on now. Let them tell us why.
I told you why. Because we Georgia. We UGA. We number one in the country.
That's not saying anything.
You don't have to. You heard my pick, real, and you heard my score. I'm done. I let our money and go. They can talk. They can talk till their tongues fall out. I'm not worried at all. This is gonna be no chance for Ohio State. Gonna be a blowout. Sit back. I'm gonna be just coasting through victory. I'm gonna be relaxed so good, man. I am gonna be clowning. So when 11 o'clock come tonight, I'll be celebrating, and all I have is a big. I told you so. You know, UGA meets Michigan in the championship game. You heard it? Book it.
So, Coach, I will say this. I'm not predicting as wide of a margin because I don't think I made my pick. I believe Georgia's going to win. I believe they'll win by 10, at least 10. Now, the reason why I would say Red's prediction is not too far-fetched, and I'm not going to say just because they're Georgia, but let's remember, this is basically a home game for Georgia. They're playing in Atlanta. So you got 80-20. We know how much the crowd noise made a difference when they played Tennessee. So because it's a home game basically for Georgia, this is why I'm not going to necessarily say Red's prediction is just a homer and it's just off base because we have to take into account this game is in Atlanta. Period. Is that fair, Coach?
And that'll have something to do with it. But you gotta know that of course they're gonna have advantage. They're gonna have a slight advantage because of the crowd noise, of course. But I just want to look at something. I'm trying to pull it up real quick. And okay, here we go. Georgia Bulldogs schedule. Okay. You beat Oregon. Oregon was nothing. Now they something now. You beat Samford. Now I could beat Samford and Son. You struggle with Kent State. Now, was that a fluke? Or was that early in the season?
I'm trying to see where you're going with this.
I know where you're going.
For real. I really try to see where we're going.
I know what you're trying to say, Coach, but I want you to understand that sometimes, at times, Georgia, they start, I'm not going to say they start slow, but sometimes they'll play down to that competition.
That's their point.
And
so
I
wait a minute. So how is that comparing that to Ohio State? Is Kent State, Ohio State the same type of team?
So let me ask you a question. What makes you think Ohio State is not good enough to compete with Georgia?
Oh
I
no,
didn't say that.
they're good enough to
Just
compete.
predicted a 40-17 score would mean that Ohio State ain't going to be in the game.
I
Oh,
mean,
no, Ohio State-
now check this out, though. Making that kind of prediction is not too far-fetched. Number one, because I just talked about Georgia is basically playing a home game. Let's not act like we just didn't see something a few weeks ago, where Michigan went into the horseshoe and beat the brakes off of Ohio State. And Michigan doesn't nearly have the athletes that Georgia does. So okay, you want to poo-poo on that. Who's more physical, Michigan or Georgia?
Defensively, Georgia.
Yeah. Who's more physically offensively? Whose offensive line more physical?
I don't know now because Michigan ran the ball well.
Georgia.
That's
So,
Michigan's game.
and Rev makes a good point. Georgia is more physical on
We
both
got a
sides of the ball.
snapshot of that last year in the semifinals between Georgia and Michigan. Who plays the physical game better? Georgia.
Yeah.
So when we talk about how Michigan went into the horseshoe, out physical them, beat them by multiple touchdowns, at the end of the day, Red's take saying winning by 23 is not just a far fetch, because we saw Michigan out physical Ohio State in the horseshoe, and Georgia plays that game better than Michigan, and they're basically playing a home game.
Pretty much.
So it's not far fetched. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I don't think we should be looking at Red like he's crazy when we just saw Michigan beat the brakes off of Ohio State in Ohio State.
So don't you think that
And then one last thing, and then this same Ohio State team struggled with a Notre Dame at home.
Not only that, Rev, who else did they struggle with this season? The sorry Northwestern team, too?
I mean, so yeah, Georgia's
Georgia's struggling with Missouri. What you trying to say?
Okay, what team is not going to have at least a game with a struggle, coach?
That's my point.
So, you say down to the competition.
So,
Ohio State is in the Final Four, so they're one of the top 4 teams in the nation. Yeah. So you think Georgia's gonna play down to them?
No,
that's why I said, Rev, in big games like this, no. But I mean, when you expected to win the game, they kind of like, okay, we know we can beat this team. Like, but in big games on the big stage like this, they're not gonna play that. I think Kirby Smart and that football team has enough respect for Ryan Day and his football team to be like, we can't sleep on these guys because
we'll lose.
They can't beat us. So
that's what I'm saying.
It's possible for Ohio State to beat Georgia, but it's not on big game on the big stage like this. It's not likely to me.
Let me say it this way: Georgia had a better chance of losing to TCU than Ohio State.
I don't know about that one, Red.
Because of them not taking them seriously.
Yeah.
Thinking that they can just go in there and beat them. Yeah. That's why I say that. Ohio State, this is like playing Tennessee right here. This is like playing Alabama. Mm-hmm. And therefore, there's not going to be a whole lot of room for games because Ohio State has about the same amount of talent, recruiting-wise, as Georgia.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of room for Georgia to be taking this game lightly.
I will say that Georgia can't play around because Ohio State is built to lead the game and stay in that game.
Yeah. So, I mean, if Ohio State, this is where the game will be close. If Ohio State gets out in front, the game will be close. If they get behind, it's going to be a wrap. If they got to rely solely on trying to pass their way back into the game, it's over. And Red might be right on his prediction. Ohio State must play from ahead in order for this game to be close.
Yeah.
And they can get ahead with their offense. They can get ahead.
Can they stop Georgia's offense?
I told you, they neutralized them 2 tight ends. They can win the game because those 2 tight ends are the weapons that Georgia's been using from day one.
Hey, stop them, coach.
It's one thing to say it,
that's what I
coach,
just
but
said. They
it's one
got to
thing to say it, but
neutralize
it's hard to do it.
But can they do it,
Can
coach?
they do it? Yeah, that's a hard one.
Hey,
You telling us what-
that's why they play the game.
Like, your take is more so anti-Georgia.
No,
Now,
It is, coach, because
can Georgia can
this is what you said. You said this is how I asked you. Is it more about you're trying to get the standing, or you really think Ohio State can beat Georgia? This is what you said. You said they got to run against Georgia. I asked you how likely is that? Well, they got to try.
I mean, hey, what you play the game for? You think? I mean, what's saying is not gonna happen?
Coach, they're not going.
This funny. Coach want us to go down. We get it. Coach want us to go down.
It ain't got nothing to do with wanting to go down. Can like you said, Armani? Can Georgia stop Marvin Harrison?
Yeah, that's why I said long as they're not in man coverage and Ringo has help over the top, the game they want Marvin Harrison to get what we think he's going to get. Honestly,
here's the problem. Georgia struggles when a team has multiple dominant receivers.
Now, if Njoku was playing,
that would be different. That would be
a different game.
Like what Alabama had when they had Jameson on one end and Waddle on the other end, it was Waddle. Mechie and Jameson. That gave Georgia problems because they could not scheme against 2 great wide receivers. One guy is not going to – he might get his numbers, but that's not going to put an L in Georgia.
They'd be over the top help, and that'll neutralize that.
Yeah, that'll neutralize it. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. Alexis Hill says UGA about that.
Now, what I will say, and I'm gonna let it go. If it comes down to if this game comes down to which quarterback is going to make the bigger plays, I mean,
who's going to do better than that. Stroud is the better.
Stroud is the better quarterback.
But Georgia,
it won't come down to that though.
Georgia has the more.
Why y'all keep bringing it up there if it ain't gonna come down to it?
I was just saying. If that's their chance to win, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I might just answer the question. What's gonna happen? You tell us what you think gonna happen.
Oh, Georgia gonna win.
Thank you. Okay, so we don't need all this. If this happened, if that happened, or if that happened, if this happened, dude. If we gonna win, we gonna win.
All right. Red is spoken. We're going through. It's halftime of the Red and Red Sports Show. We're coming back with some more NFL talk, about NBA talk. Hang out with you boys. Red Coach and Armani for the second half. We'll be right back. And we're back on the Red and Red Sports Show. Armani is back with us now. All right, of the Red and Red Sports Show. So we are all back. We had some great discussion, and we're looking forward to some great conversation next week about what took place in the college playoff. We hope Coach didn't get in trouble in Mississippi. All right. All right, gentlemen. We're going to go off 5 for 5. We got some basketball and we got some football topics that we're about to jump in. Coach, you okay? All right, we still got some going on in the Thomas household. So we pray Coach is okay. All right. All right, here we go. We got 5 for 5. We're going to start with this. Nets rising. They are on a winning streak. They are balling. They have gone up to the double digits in W. So this is where we're going to start our 5 for 5. We're going to click cue the music. Our VP is not here talking about cue Lunis, but we're going to cue it up. We'll start with Armani, and then we'll go around the horn. All right, the Nets are rising. What you got on it, Armani?
I mean, they had the coaching. I think a coaching change was made this year, if I'm correct, right?
Yes.
I mean, since he's been in, they've been doing really well. It seems like they're buying into his coaching and what he's saying, and I think that's what ultimately is leading the Nets to, keep going on a winning tear. So, I mean, Kevin Durant, Kyrie doing his thing. So, I mean, they're gonna be all right. They have a chance in the East this year, absolutely. So that young coach, I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him. They're listening. They're buying into what he's saying, listening to what he's saying, and implementing the game plan. So they're doing good.
And the young coach's name is Jock Vaughn.
Josh, okay, thank you. Okay.
Go ahead, Red. What's your thoughts about the Nets rising?
Like I said, you got to give credit to Jock Vaughn, definitely. He pretty much did what Durant pretty much wanted him to do, and that just simplify things. I mean, I'm starting to figure out Kevin Durant's thing now. He's a easygoing guy. He hates complications. He hates drama. He hates anything to get out of his normal mojo. So any coach that can do that and keep Kevin Durant just going on his routine, not interrupting his routine, and win some games, oh yeah, you are going to endure yourself to Kevin Durant, and that's why Jock Vaughn is succeeding. He's keeping things simple. He's not interrupting KD's mindset, and they're winning games. Kyrie's back. They're doing his thing. He's healthy. No distractions. No distractions. This team can win. So no distractions. Keeping things simple. Playing the ball to the best of their ability. Good job, Jock Vaughn. Very impressive.
Go.
It's simple. The Nets are healthy. They got everybody here. They ready to go. They got a good squad. Vaughn is giving them a thing that, I mean, nobody's gotten that. So that coaching that could keep him there for a while. So Jock Vaughn is got him right. So the Nets may make the team everybody's scared of.
All right. Brother Martin got one comment in Rev Night Nation. He said, why are my Hawks so close to beating them? Kudos to the Nets. But my Hawks right now, I'm disappointed. Chime in.
It's trouble in paradise right now. The head coach and the star player not seeing eye to eye. And it seems like the star player wants to do what he wants to do. And then once you got somebody that wants to do what they want to do and not what's best for the team, I mean, that's what that comes down to. Trae Young feel like he's above everybody, even the head coach, and don't think he can be traded. Let me tell you something, DeBarge Jr. You can be traded. You can be traded. So don't get misconstrued that you can't be replaced because you can. So that's what that comes down to.
All right, Red, your thoughts?
I have no thoughts on the Hawks. Now you were talking about right now.
I'm going to go back to the Nets because you offer some great commentary. Red, I'm talking to you, which let me know what the Nets are doing is good for the regular season, but won't allow them to win a national championship. I'm sorry, NBA championship. You talked about how Kevin Durant doesn't like adversity at the end of the day. He doesn't like drama.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things, and it is true, You know, when there was the whole drama with Steve Nash, they played terribly. Drama with Kyrie last year about the vaccine, this year about his comments, anti-Semitic comments, and we see how, you know, even when he came back, they were struggling. One of the things that you can count on that's going to happen in the NBA playoffs is adversity. Something is not going to go right. Somebody's going to get hurt. Something is going to happen. And this is why Kevin Durant will struggle trying to be Batman on a team, because you got to have a player who can handle the adversity. And the reason why he won 2 championships in Golden State is, even though he was the best player, Steph was the one who kept them together when adversity rose up. So this is why I strongly believe that the Nets will not win a championship based upon what you said about Kevin Durant not liking drama, because that comes with the territory.
Yeah, that's usually what happens to them when you get to the playoffs. They'll go into that one series, have a little adversity, and then next thing you know, the Nets are eliminated, and everybody's sitting here wondering, well, how did that happen? Well, I mean, your star player got to be able to handle the tough moments. Now, Rev, he might be able to escape if Kyrie's there to battle to take over. But yeah, like I said, he ain't no real leader himself. So I mean, then are the young guys gonna really listen to Kyrie? They like the young guys, they'll listen to Durant when it's an issue, but are they gonna really listen to Kyrie? Probably not. So yeah, you're right. That's gonna be up to the coach now. Can Jacques Vaughn steer the ship from adversity?
Now you got to have a coach and a coach and a player.
Yeah, it seems like they cool right now because of the regular season.
Yeah, you got to have that coach on the floor, you know, and then when you start getting in the playoffs, you're playing against competition that is equal to yours, except for when he was like in Golden State and they just had that bomb squad. But you know, in the East, they got some dogs in the East.
Yeah,
you know, you got Milwaukee, Philly, you know, Cleveland's pretty good. Boston, you know, and Boston is battle tested, and Boston don't care nothing about the Celtics, because last year they wanted to play the Nets in the first round. So, you know, you got to have that mentally tough guy. All right. Dante says, I hear you, Red, but I don't think that's the type of adversity Red talking about. I think Red was speaking of court drama and off the court drama. Drama is drama.
Drama is drama.
I mean, I don't care what the drama is. If it's off-court drama, he can't lead the team mentally. If it's on the court drama, he can't lead the court team mentally. I don't care what kind of drama it is. Kevin Durant is not built for it. So you can name whatever drama it is, I'm still going to say Kevin Durant is not built for it, because he's not a natural leader. He's fragile.
Yeah, I think when dealing with Durant, Dante, I think, it's all on the court, off the court, Twitter, online, not online. You know what I'm saying? It's all the same with Durant.
Exactly. All right. Let's see. Let's go back to this other comment of Dante. Maybe the Hawks gave too much too soon.
That $200 million was a little bit early. It kind of shocked me, but I mean, it's not like he's not the first player that's gotten a payday early. So I think it's just Trey's personality, man. I think it's just his personality. Like I say, I don't think overall he's just a bad, evil guy. I think the dude is just feeling himself. I think he's cocky. I think he's all about his game, and he thinks his game can take teams far. And the fact that he got to the Eastern Conference Finals 2 seasons ago probably gave him a little more cockiness, you know, and the fact that when he went out, the team struggled, you know. So, look, Trey's feeling himself from the Eastern Conference Finals appearance 2 seasons ago. But what he don't understand is, dude, you got to build on that, okay? You can't come back the next season and barely make the play-in tournament. Then when you make the playoffs, you get ousted in the first round by a Heat team that wasn't really that dominant, okay? If you Trae Young, then you probably should have had a better series versus the Heat. Then you come back this season when we're saying last season was a disappointment. Let's try to build on what we did 2 years ago. And we're struggling and having inner turmoil this season. So look, this is a Trae Young thing. I'm not defending him. I'm not acting like it's anything other than Trae Young feeling himself.
Red, I'm going to say this. Trae Young needs somebody on the Hawks team who don't mind slapping.
Right.
That's what he needs. Because let's go back to the Chicago Bulls. Yeah, folk talk about how Jordan used to punk his teammates, but he came across one Bill Cartwright who almost knocked him out. Bill Cartwright wasn't hearing that crap when Jordan was getting in his face, and he almost got knocked out. And then you look at Kobe. You know, Kobe had a Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
If Kobe got too far out of line, Shaq would beat the brakes off Kobe. Kobe would have not been scared of him, but he got the brakes beat off of him. So Shaq was the enforcer to reel him in. And that's what the Hawks are missing, that enforcer who could reel Trae in like, look, bro, you good.
Did you think Solomon Hill? So what did you think about Solomon Hill?
Solomon Hill doesn't have the cachet. I think he has the mentality. Like if you put his mentality into Clint
John Collins,
I say Clint Capella.
Clint Capella, okay.
That would be a person who could have jacked Trae up, and Trae would have respected him. But Clint is a soft guy, man. You know?
I'm with you. And Big O ain't got the tenure.
You know who would be great for Trae?
Who is that?
Joel Embiid.
Yeah. Oh,
Joel Embiid would put him in line.
Ooh, I would love. That's really real. That's the type of player he needs. He needs a guy in the front court with that type of cachet. Collins and Hunter and Capella. Look, they decent players. I like them, but is that the teammate that Trae Young need right now? I said that Trae Young needs another guy that's on equal footing with him. That when he comes in, him like, fool, get your bald head butt out my face, boy, and cut your hair off or something. I'm just saying, somebody that's Trae can't tell them what, they can tell Trae what, but I'm saying they got to work it out. So yeah, and DeJounte Murray, no. It's like he's a good player, a decent player, a solid player, but somebody that's not the type of guy that Trae's gonna listen to.
No doubt. Armani, real quick before we go to the second topic, can you give us an update on the Alabama school?
0-0.
Man,
the matinee special. All right. All right. Here we
return
go.
to the Disney Network.
Ed Reed has been blessed by the prime factor. Prime Coach Jackson State. Now Ed Reed has been hired by the Bethune-Cookman University, going along with Eddie George, who was hired by Tennessee State. Red, we got 5 on it. Let's crank it up. What's your thoughts about Ed Reed being hired by Bethune-Cookman in Florida?
Okay. I think it was a good hire. It's nice to see the HBCUs reaching out to a lot of former players now. I think this might be the route to go. If you're going to bring any type of notice to your school, getting a big-time NFL player might be the route to go. Now, is Ed Reed going to bring that same panache and pizzazz to Bethune-Cookman that Prime bought the JSU? It remains to be seen, because I think Ed Reed and Prime's personalities are sort of different. Both great defensive backs in their day, both Hall of Fame players. I think Dion is more style, and then I'm out there, and I think Ed Reed is more conservative. I'm a quiet teacher, bring you over to the huddle, talk to you, put his arm around you, and just make sure you get it in your ear. Nobody hearing what he's saying but Ed and him. Prime is a little more boisterous. Ed is a little more down to earth. I think both styles could be victorious, but I think Ed is just a little bit more quieter than Prime is, if you understand what I mean when I say quieter than Prime is. But it's still a good hire. I think both guys can teach you the game of football. You will definitely learn a lot by listening to Ed Reed.
Coach.
Give me a minute, Rev. I'm trying to get Taylor Swift tickets. Hold on. All right, I'm back now. Okay. Reed is I hope what people do not do because Bethune has finished at the bottom of the barrel or close to the bottom the last couple of years. I hope they don't start throwing him out there and saying you supposed to bring us results like Deion Sanders does. That's going to be unfair right off the bat because Bethune recruit class it was marginal. It wasn't that good, so he got work to be done. But he gets a good staff and surrounds himself with good people. He can bring Bethune back to where they used to be because Bethune was in the MEAC, they were a power, but they come to the swag. They slowed down a little bit because of losing players and coaching. But Reed could bring them back and get them back to respectability, but it just may take a little bit.
Armani, what you got, brother?
I think it was a good hire. It's good to give some of the, NFL legends that want to coach, that haven't coached. Haven't had much coaching experience before. To go to HBCUs, not only give back to the Black community, but give some of those Black players hope by hey, he's the best, arguably probably the best free safety that the NFL has ever seen. So, it's a good hire. I'm happy for Ed Reed and Bethune-Cookman. So I'm gonna be paying attention to them. I'm gonna see what comes out of that. I'm happy for both sides.
All right, let's see what Reverend Nation got
But
to
that's
say.
it right there. The fact that we're gonna be paying attention to Bethune-Cookman, we probably wouldn't have if Ed Reed went down there.
All right, here we go. Let's see what Reverend Nation got to say. Bro, Norton says, way to go, Ed Reed. Kelly says, I love it. I like Ed Reed. I just want him to coach. Ed and Deion are very different. Dante Armstrong, everybody a little bit more quiet and pride. That's true. But for real, I agree, Red. Maurice Throw, I'm ecstatic for Ed Reed. Good for Bethune-Cookman. They went 2-9, so all they can do is go up. Reed's quiet intensity will be on display as he does the program.
Oh, okay. You bet the real Reed. Okay.
I said, but Reed going to take a little more time, though. At least Prime has something to work with. Reed has nothing now. Yeah, Kelly said Deion has a very big personality. He's a charmer, so that naturally attracts people. I want people to give Ed a real chance. Of course, I think people compare him to Prime, but he really wanted to coach and has been actively working his way up to that point.
I think he'll get a chance. Like you say, he's at Bethune-Cookman, so I think he'll get a chance. I really do. I think they'll let him build his program up for the first year, and if he stays 3 years like Prime did, I think he can leave a mark on that program.
So the magnetic spirit of Prime is what he would be measured against, unfortunately. Prime set a bar that's going to be hard for players like Eddie George, Ed Reed. Like Dante stated, Prime is on a whole nother level. As Kelly stated, Prime is a charmer. Prime brought endorsements, deals, notoriety that mostly other players could not bring. Only player that I think that could possibly coach, that could bring some level of what Prime brought to Jackson State is Ray Lewis.
That's it, Sugar.
Yeah, Ray Lewis. That's the only other player. So I hope that Bethune-Cookman is not looking for Ed Reed to shake up Daytona. Like Prime shook up Jackson.
Yeah, that's you feel what I was saying, real.
Yeah, like let's.
He's not quiet. He's quiet. He's a quiet greatness, but not loud greatness like Prime.
Like he's not gonna be getting the deals and endorsements.
Yeah, he didn't even have commercials like that when he played.
He played, and he was an all-time great. So I think
he was so great. He was so great that he didn't even need to put his name out there. Well, you knew when you played Baltimore Ravens, back there on that backside, you better worry about Ed Reed. He didn't have to talk during the week. He didn't have to say, "Look at me. Hey, I'm here. I'm Ed Reed." No, you knew Ed Reed was back there, and that's why I say his greatness was more quiet greatness, but respectable greatness. But
is that the type of greatness that can help a college team be great? Because now one thing Deion got right. He understands that more people want to be like him than Ed Reed.
Mm-hmm.
He understands part of the coaching game to recruit in the 21st century is your social media game has to be on point.
Oh Lord. Uh-oh.
And
I
see,
don't know about Ed and social media now.
and that's the difference, right? Because
Yeah.
like even just yesterday, Prime's docu-series dropped
Yeah.
on Prime Video. I saw the first 2 episodes, and Prime gets it. He knows what these kids want, and I think Ed Reed personality would be great before Neil.
Got you.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you. Oh, I got you. I understand.
He
I
would
know
be
they're 2 different personalities.
before Neil. I hope that Bethune-Cookman can appreciate the kind of man he is,
Yeah.
the kind of knowledge that he would bring. I hope they will give him time, like because Dante said, you know, Ed Reed doesn't have much to work with, and then he's not that magnetic figure that's going to automatically cause players to want to transfer to Bethune-Cookman.
Real.
Yes, sir.
You think that Ray Lewis would be a good coach?
I didn't say he would be a great coach. I
Okay.
said he has the magnetism as a prime, and therefore he could excite a city, a college town. You know, that man, let's think about it. That man had grown men who are millionaires fired up on his team.
Yep.
Who the dogs in this house? I mean, come on. Who can get grown men to do that?
Ooh.
So
yeah.
if he can get grown men, his peers, to get fired up, amped the way he did, sure he can get college kids and a college town.
I mean, he put on Inside the NFL when the few episodes he does show up on. Brandon and Julian Edelman and James Brown and Phil, but they love it when Ray be there. Oh, Ray's in the day. Woo!
What happens though when a guy like Ray goes into a home of a recruit and that recruit and they bring up the fact of him being involved with that murder? You think they'll hold that over his head? You don't think they'll try to hold that?
No black kid. Let me just say this. No black kid is going to hold that over his head. They're going to be happy that somebody of Ray Lewis's caliber came to their home.
Who in the world would be dogging Ray out in a living room, Coach?
You don't know, Pete. See, you say that, but I'm looking at the overall thing, how people tried to keep that on Ray, even though it was clear they tried to keep talking about that.
Here's where you're missing. Here's where you're missing. Yes, that is on his resume, but that has not stopped him from getting jobs.
With coaching, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about coaching jobs now. I'm not talking about NFL.
Trying to get a coaching job,
but TV jobs, Coach. Would he be on TV?
Like Deion got TV job that led to. If he could get a TV job with on a major white network, he can get a coaching job in a black school. Let's be real about this.
Okay? Yeah, he worked for CBS, Coach.
Yeah,
I'm just waiting to see when Ray Lewis gonna get hired. That's all I'm waiting on.
I mean,
I think you just want to be a fly on the wall in somebody's living room when Ray come in there and he bring.
I just want to see when Ray gonna get hired.
Ray Lewis pregame speech would be like one of Rev's online sermons.
Boy, I'm talking about they would be like an hour long. I mean, kids would be like, "Coach, are we gonna play the game?"
I mean, his Hall of Fame speech was like an hour long.
Oh my God.
Kelly said, no, I don't think it will hold it over his head. Plus, Ray overcome that speaking volume to these kids for sure. I mean, really, the adversity, if they bring it up, would be basically a feather in Ray's hat because it shows what he overcame. He was never convicted.
Nope.
So you can't say he's a convicted felon. You could just say there was an alleged crime he was associated with, but he overcame that, and that was years ago. And look what he's accomplished. That didn't keep him out of the Hall of Fame. That hadn't stopped him from working for CBS. So he's in good shape. And what black kid would say, no, Or what black family gonna say, no, I don't want Ray Lewis into my home, and he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He's one of the best to ever do it. I mean,
Yep.
think about it. Yeah, they were like Dante's right. They would fire their current head coach to say they had a chance. Yeah, no doubt about it. No
I
doubt.
would.
All right, let's move into the next one. We've been going way over 5 minutes, so maybe we get back to 5 minutes. All right, on this one. Derek Carr has been benched in favor of Brother Stidham, who played at Auburn. And
That's Dante's guy.
would not be with his team for the rest of the season, and we see that his boys' college teammate Devontae Adams has some issues. Coach, your thoughts on this as we play 5 on it? What you got?
I just wonder how these players just, as soon as the change is made, I need to go lead the team for a few minutes. Why? Be a teammate and stay with the team. You never know. Player might get hurt. Quarterback might get hurt. They may need you, and you gone. I mean, what's the problem? You getting paid? What's the problem?
Armani.
Yeah, I never understood the sentiment of leaving the team because you're not getting your way or you got benched. I mean, even if they might be benching them to save them, to make sure nothing happens to them next year from when they I don't think that overall that his performance led him to get benched. I feel like they said, okay, we're not going to the playoffs. We're not a title contention. Let's go ahead. Let's rest you for the year. And then after that was made clear, he was like, well, I might as well just step away for a little while and get back to whatever I'm doing on my personal life because, I mean, we're not going anywhere. We're not doing anything. Let the young guy get some experience. But, I mean, again, you got to stay with your team, though. So that's how I feel about it.
Rick.
Real, I hate to say it. You might have been right about Alabama and K-State. Lord have mercy. But back on topic. Derek Carr, dude, it was time for you to go. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not surprised. Josh McDaniels, it's just a trash can going on in Oakland, but I'm not surprised that they got rid of Derek Carr. They didn't want to be tied to his money next year. If he got hurt, they owe him $33 million, and they definitely ready for a change. It's not fair. Derek Carr did hold his team together when they've gone through some bad times, but hey, it's the NFL. It's not fair sometimes. And it's definitely time for the Raiders to move on. I mean, Devontae Adams, I'm sorry you got tricked into going over there with 1 year for your guy, but hopefully you can seek a trade and move on to another team. And I think the Carr era is rightfully over with the Raiders.
All right, let's see what Revenant Nation has to say about Carr. Do you see anything about Carr? Falcons fans do not even think about wanting Carr. Joe Black said, Coach, to push back from my understanding with the Raiders idea to keep him from being a distraction. Dante says, I don't disagree with y'all, but apparently the coach's own decision for him to step away from the team. Guard just said, okay, can my Falcons go get Devontae Adams through Derek Carr?
No. Oh, sorry, Coach.
What would make him a distraction? I'm just wondering. What would they think he would do?
If it's sour grapes and he's not willing to help the rookie or help Stedham, who's like in his second, third year, then it could be a distraction. And then if Devontae Adams is mad that his boy is not playing, and not really, feeding off the energy of Derek Carr, if he's not really into it, that could be a distraction. I think they want to see what they got in Stedham to try to see if he's somebody they can build on in the future. And then also this whole Derek Carr thing is about keeping them healthy, so that they don't owe him any money long term, so he can go on to his next destination. Any other thought?
See, Armani.
So Red,
Yes, sir.
you might owe Armani an apology because he was saying it was the truth that they don't get up to games like this.
Well, it's early. Let's see how it turned out. But yeah, it's not looking good for me picking Bama right now.
I honestly, this is typical Alabama during the bowl
But
game.
I'm saying, this is how you play when you don't want to get in there. Why are you crying about getting in the playoff? Not you crying. I'm talking about why is Saban crying or any of the Bama fans crying about not making the playoffs. This how you play when you don't get it out?
Well, we can all agree that Alabama play is not the same Alabama when it's playoff time.
But that's not right. You gotta have some pride. It's still football now. If you don't play like crap just because you're not in the playoffs, then don't come to us crying when you don't make it. And that's probably that mindset, probably the reason you got 2 losses now. You don't get up for everybody. Get up for everybody.
Well, I'm gonna say this. This could easily happen to Georgia in the next few years. When you got a bunch of kids who've been accustomed to playing meaningful bowl games for a national championship, and when they're not in it, that can be very difficult. This era of Alabama football, we got to remember Bryce Young is probably the first starting quarterback that's not played for a national championship. You know, Matt Jones played for one. Tua played for one. Jalen Hurts played for a couple. You know, this Alabama breed is used to playing for national championships. And it's hard, their bowl preparation has always been to play for national championships, not playing for some Citrus Bowl to get some oranges to take back to talent to Tuscaloosa once the game is over.
I mean, like Red saying, it's like, honestly, it's like who cares? I mean,
and the fan base doesn't really care like that.
No, we don't.
Because the fan base, you talk about a decade of success, playing in meaningful games. And I'm gonna just say Georgia is on up next, having that same type of mentality. You know, if Georgia goes and repeats this year and they keep, you know, putting these 5-star and then with the expansion of the college playoff.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying, real. With the expansion, we may not have to face this.
That's fair. That's fair point. Fair point. Yeah. But there's a possibility because
next year, you better hope we don't do nothing next year. Because after that,
the SEC is getting strong, right?
True.
Because you got Tennessee coming back. You know, we'll see if they were one and done. But I think Heibel's putting together a decent program. I think Florida bounced back at some point. Will they be the Florida Bowl? I'm not sure because I don't think they have the coach to get them there. But then that SEC West, that's where it's going to get real because Saban is still comparable, but you got your boy from LSU, Brian Kelly, who's coming. You know, we're going to see if Jimbo Fisher has really lost it or has he got something to gain.
Now, Rev, you still know who still got the top 2 recruiting teams in the country. It's still Bama, number 1, yeah, and UGA. So
listen, Georgia ain't going nowhere no time soon.
Right.
That's just the bottom line. They're not going nowhere because Kirby got a brand and he got a football factory in his home state. That's why Georgia ain't going nowhere. And they're not going to get too much competition from Georgia Tech. You know, so
I thought we were if they had a higher prime.
But you know, them white guys weren't gonna listen to prime.
The SEC is on the uprise in itself. I mean, and then like you said, Kirby got a factory in itself, and then you got the guys in the SEC West. I don't see anybody besides Tennessee doing anything really in the East. Gamecocks like they're trying to trend up the Gamecocks, and then I don't know if Florida's going to get another great, good coach. And
Beamer, we're going to see if Beamer's a fluke because Beamer had a strong ending at South Carolina.
Yeah.
So
we'll stop trying to act like he Nick Saban.
Well, we'll see if he, you know, can bring South Carolina back to where Steve Spurrier had it at one time.
That defense last night, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, it was atrocious. All right, let's go on to the next one. Nathaniel Hackett fired. Before the season's over, they thought he was going to be the man to help Russell cook, but we see that the cooking was burning in Denver. and we're on to the next
smoke alarms.
All right, so Armani, man, what a fitting person to start this conversation. Same guy told me that they were going you throwing the Kansas City Chiefs. So, all right, let's
Lord
see.
have mercy.
What's your thoughts about the man who didn't help Russ cook?
I got to hear this.
I mean, I don't think that Nathaniel Hackett was the guy to begin with. That was my only concern with the Denver Broncos, but then something is off with Wilson. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's his age getting to him. It's just something ain't. I don't know if it's mentality. Maybe the Broncos gave him too much too early. He got comfortable. I don't know if the fiasco with his wife and all the surrounding media hyping that whole ordeal up. But I mean, it's probably a multitude of all of that. But Nathaniel Hackett, he's just nothing about his playbook. He's like Arthur Smith. Nothing about his playbook is like really, really telling.
Red.
This is simple to me, real. Nathaniel Hackett was fired because he just wasn't prepared to coach Russell Wilson. Nathaniel was hired because the Broncos anticipated a trade for yours truly in Green Bay, Skeet Rogers. But that didn't happen. Nathaniel Hackett is Aaron Rodgers' boy. Nathaniel Hackett and Russell Wilson have no relationship. And once Denver decide to bring in Russell Wilson, oh really, once they decide to bring in Nathaniel Hackett, I have no idea why they went after Russell Wilson. Aaron Rodgers should have been the guy you were going after. If you weren't going to be guaranteed to get Aaron, you should have never hired Nathaniel, who obviously wasn't ready to be a head coach. And that's just the bottom line. The man was not ready to be a head coach. The strength of your team is defense. His strength is offense and play calling. But when Russell was on, it's kind of hard because Russell don't lost a step. But it's about Nathaniel Hackett being fired, and that's why he was fired.
Coach.
Hackett had unrealistic expectations of Russell Wilson. They thought Russell Wilson was the savior going to come in, and they already had a defense, and they thought Wilson was the key to the offense to come in and just make it work. But Wilson has had his worst year since he's been a quarterback, and Hackett was collateral damage. And he really shouldn't have got a job in the first place, in my opinion. But hey, you put him out there. His changes weren't made. Wilson was terrible. Defense was on point, but you couldn't outscore anybody. So he was collateral damage.
All right, let's see where Reverend Nation got to go, what they got to say, and then we'll go right back to it. Says Hackett couldn't hack it. Got whacked in the process. He shouldn't have been hired in the first place. Joe Black says Hackett is the associate minister that can preach at his own church because of a great pastor that decided to go get a church before he's ready. That's a great analogy. He should have never been hired in the first place. Alex Steele, but Mark, I believe Russell lost the locker room. Russell did a terrible job of keeping everybody out of his and Sierra's business. Maurice Stewart said, by the way, Seattle Seahawks say thank you, Walmart Conference. For sure. I think Red makes a great point. And I've been saying this a lot today. But Red makes an excellent point when you look at the fact.
Thank you, Red.
Yeah, when you look at the fact that the thought process was Denver was getting Aaron Rodgers. He was Aaron Rodgers' offensive coordinator, not Russell Wilson. I think we can all agree in saying Russell Wilson is not Aaron Rodgers.
No way.
Okay, so there's a huge difference in play ability. And I think Armani made a good point in terms of Russ is losing some of his ability. I was listening to one of the sports shows this past week, and they were talking about how Russell cannot get away from defenders anymore.
That's a big part of his game.
And that was a major part of his game, his escapability. And he's lost that. That's why I was never big on Russ cooking. Because part of Russ cooking dealt with his ability to escape. When you take that escapability away, if you got to rely on Russ picking the team apart, that's not going to happen most games. He's going to choke. So I think, Red, you were really on it, man. Hackett was for them to bring in Rodgers, not Wilson, and it backfired. And they need to find a head coach who can center their game plan, offense game plan, around Russell Wilson. Now let's go right into the Russell Wilson unpopular. Let's just make this a topic.
Okay.
Somebody made the point, and I think it was Armani, that they gave too much to Russell Wilson. And I'm not, and obviously the money part is debatable. But from reports, what are your thoughts about the Broncos giving him his own office and his entourage certain perks? What are your thoughts about that? Anybody, jump in.
I mean, that's not Rick Wilson's fault. That's management's fault for doing all that to him. And who gonna turn it down?
But what are your thoughts? Is he deserving of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, he deserving of an offer to sit and watch the game and not play. If that's what he got it for, no player should ever have his own office. That means you giving a sense of entitlement, and entitlement should never be on a team sport at all. Because y'all teammates, you should never give a person entitlement like that. Because what happened this year, it only makes the players hate him more.
Yeah.
All right, somebody else chime in.
I think that once that happened, I think, and this ain't just in football, this is in life, people get too comfortable, and you can't get too comfortable, because when you get too comfortable, things happen. You know what I mean? So you got your own, you can have your own office at your own house. So as great as Michael Jordan was, I don't think Michael Jordan had his own office at the Bulls, in the Bulls stadium.
He would have deserved it.
He would have deserved it, but at the end of the day, you're not above the team.
No.
Wilson, you are not above the team. You are not above the franchise. So I don't know if that got, I don't know if that got to your head. I don't know if things at home. I think it's everything with people picking at him about this whole thing about him not being, the what's his name, the rapper, Future. I think a lot of that is weighing on Russell, because I think that he needs to be able to tune everybody out, because the media is picking at him, his ex-teammates are picking at him, and then he's not making things better for himself because Denver giving him all these promises, and then he has a big seat to fill because of the team that they have around Wilson. So, I mean, he just needs to get it together.
Red, jump in.
Now, look, one thing we're not going to do is have any sympathy or feel sorry for Russell Wilson or anything they're saying about him or thinking about him, because all of it is warranted. All of it is deserving, okay? The fact that this clown got an office in the Broncos organization, I don't care if they gave it to him or not. Dude, you better go back to management and say, look, here's the keys to your office. Here's the key, because he hasn't earned anything. And that is the point. Dude, you are coming into a new team with new teammates, new people you have to set an impression on, and you are all of a sudden, giving all of these luxuries and all of these amenities for something you have not earned, dude. Starting from game one, you haven't earned a thing. And that is going to resonate wrong with people, dude. Players are not going to sit back. Folks in the organization are not going to sit back and keep their mouth shut when they see a guy performing the way he performing and not earning a thing, but giving all of these luxuries. And as far as what he needs to do to make it better, dude, how about becoming a real person to your teammates? How about every week we having people coming out saying, Shannon Sharp even said on his show, I understand Jared Judah want to come out and speak up for us, but Jared, shut up, okay? Because Shannon Sharp got his eye to the team, and he said that nobody is feeling Russ on that team, and I believe him. I believe there's more people in that Broncos organization that have an issue with Russ than there's more people that's on his side, and that is a problem for the franchise QB, going forward, that's a huge problem. Russell needs to be doing right now, ingratiating himself, doing everything he can to make friends in that locker room. Whoever has an issue with him, talk to him. Find out what's the deal. How can we fix our relationship going forward? Because if Russell don't have the respect of his teammates, this thing ain't gonna ever get better. And it's just gonna be the coach just gonna come in and he's just gonna be the next babysitter until he's fired or until he takes control of the team and say, look, Russell can't be my quarterback no more. However this thing gonna end, it's not gonna end good for Russ because I don't think Russ understands how bad he has it right now. I think he's living in his own fantasy land, but he needs to get out of that because you better recognize, Russell, dude, you are not respected. You are not liked, and you are not doing anything to ingratiate yourself to your new owners, your new teammates, your new organization, your new atmosphere. And if things don't change, I'm sorry. It's just going to end bad for Russ and end bad for a lot of them in the organization. I'm just completely appalled, Rev, that Russ don't understand what's going on around him and what he needs to do to fix this. This ain't hard. Dude, you just got to be a respectable teammate.
Well,
Dang, man, is this dude so far in fantasy land? I never thought this guy would be so far in fantasy land. And I don't want to bring up Sierra, but is it really all her fault?
No.
No, it's not all fucking. I got to give some blame to Russ. No, Russ, you a grown man, dude. You should understand what's going on.
Let me interject. The bottom line is Denver created a monster.
Yeah.
That's just the bottom line. They made him be king of the hill, and Russ did not have the humility to say no.
There you go. Red humility.
He needed humility. Like, I don't even know why Denver was treating him like he's Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. Like, I don't think Patrick Mahomes would even hit at he needed something like that.
Office?
An office. I mean, like, bro, who and see, Russ has been overrated for me for a long time.
Break it down, Real.
I mean, when we go back to the Legion of Boom,
yep,
it was the defense that was the mainstay for Seattle's success. Russ happened to have Marshawn Lynch, who lightened his load a great deal, who ate. Marshawn Lynch was one of the best running backs during that era. And he made Russell's job a lot lighter because teams had to load up the box in order to stop Marshawn, which gave Russell, with his escapability, to his credit, easier throws. So when the Legion of Boom was no longer, when Marshawn Lynch was no longer, Russ cooked, and they didn't do much cooking in the playoffs. And that's why I was never big on him going to Denver, because Russ had never proven that he could put a team on his back, and the Seahawks did not have the roster that the Seahawks had. And you expected Russ to cook like he's Aaron Rodgers, and he ain't that dude.
Rev, you gonna get off the man's cooking. I've tasted his spaghetti; it's pretty good. You gonna stop the cooking talk? Let's clear that up right now.
Let me say something right there, Coach.
I tried to get you there.
Honestly,
spaghetti? Is that all he can cook, Coach? Spaghetti?
Coach turned into a silhouette.
Rev, I got a question.
Go ahead.
And it's for anybody to answer this. Coach, I want to hear what you think on this too. Armani, you too. Do y'all understand? Okay, what is Denver's strength right now? And I'm asking this. What you say, Coach?
The defense.
No, Armani said it's defense.
Right.
Defense.
Correct. Absolutely correct, Armani. And I'm asking you this is, if I'm doing the hiring and I know what my strength is, why would I hire a coach to fix Russ? I mean, why wouldn't? Because I'm asking because this Rev, you know who I think should get this Denver job, D'Amico Ryans from the 49ers. And I say that because the Broncos' strength is defense. His strength is defense. If anything, why not hire a coach that make your strength better And at least we know as a team what our identity is going forward. And it won't be no more misconstrued. It won't be no more, is this Russ team? Or we ain't letting Russ cook. This ain't his team. No, our team is defense. Let Russ manage. How about that? Can you manage the game? Because our strength is defense. You bring in a coach like D'Amico Ryans, I'm saying, the Chiefs pretty much got the offense on lock in the AFC West. But if you can get your defense as elite as Mahomes got his offense, now you can still compete. And even then, you can let Russ manage until you can get out of that contract. Then, once you get out of that contract, maybe in a year or two, find you another quarterback. And now, with the defense as balling as it should be by this time, now y'all really can try to cook with your new quarterback. But I'm saying, as far as the next couple of years, why even hire a guy to fix Russ? Just hire a defensive guy that can manage Russ and keep building on your strength. What you think?
I'll say this. I think that because defense is your strength, that is fine.
For that team, absolutely.
But let's think about it like this. Kyle Shanahan has the best defense in NFL right now. And his strength is the offense, right? That's his. So I said that to say, and this is my personal opinion, being an offensive coordinator is probably maybe a little bit harder than being a defensive coordinator because you have so many moving parts. You can, as a defense, if you got the talent, the game plan is kind of simple. But when you call on the offense, you have to have the creativity that go along with those players. So with that being said, you want to go get the Ryans, that's fine. However, it won't mean nothing because you got the talent on defense. The talent is there. No matter what coverage you call, no matter what blitz you call, they can get there. They can get the job done.
Yeah.
Let me
take away that Rams game. That Rams game was phenomenal. They're not gonna give up no 50 points. That defense not gonna drop 50 every game.
Hold on. Let me jump into Red's initial question before he went on his soliloquy. The reason why they can't be focusing primarily on the defense side of the ball is when they re-up Russ's contract. So that's when it became Russ's team because you gave the man 40 plus million. You can't afford the offense to be that anemic because we saw that this past year, the offense suffering from anemia made the defense's efforts fruitless because the defense played exceptional football this year. But because they did not have a suitable offense, that made the defensive efforts go to waste. So because they invested in Russ, we can argue should they have done it until they seen what he had done. We could argue that, but they didn't. They paid Russ.
Yeah.
So they cannot continue to keep firing coaches. Obviously, they misread Russ's importance. Russ is somewhat like a Matt Ryan. He's only as good as his offensive coordinator. Okay? He is not that kind of guy that's a Peyton Manning.
Oh, no
that's
way.
Going to function no matter what the offense is. You put Patrick Mahomes. I think Mahomes can function no matter what the offense is. It helps that he's always had Andy Reid. But we seeing like as you move his top target, he's still balling. All right, so you could put whatever personnel you need to, and he's still going to ball out. I think Josh Allen is becoming that kind of quarterback, and then Joe Burrow, I think, is becoming that kind of quarterback as well. But they got to go offense because they cannot afford another season where the offense is this anemic. And they put too much money.
Too much. It's too vanilla.
They put too much money, and Russ costs too much against the salary cap for them not.
And I see what you're saying. And the defense will probably be solid no matter what anyway, because it's been solid the past few years, right? So just focus on Russ, getting Russ better, because that's the only way this team is going to gel is if Russ is improved.
Exactly.
There you go.
Gotcha.
There you go.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
All right. I can ride with that. Well, whoever they hire, and see, and you know what? It seems like a lot of the good hires got hired this past year, because Brian Daboll would have been a good hire for Russ. There's a lot of other guys that got hired this offseason that probably could have came in there and done something, at least because if Brian Daboll fixed Daniel Jones, Lord have mercy, I think this dude can fix doggone anybody. I mean, he about to get Daniel Jones paid. Now who would have said Daniel?
Let me ask you, I'm sorry for cutting you off, because
we good.
I read one of your posts and you kind of went in on somebody, and I just was interested in where your logic was coming from.
Okay.
So somebody on one of your posts talked about Sean Payton going to Denver. So why did you go in on that person saying that for recommending Sean Payton?
I guess, I remember that. Yeah, because I personally don't think Sean Payton, after sitting back watching the year of Russell, would want to come coach him after watching him for this past year. That was my thing. Like, do y'all think Payton want to come coach Russ at this point in his career after watching what
isn't he an offensive guru?
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, but does he want to? I'm saying, is Russ the project he wants to take on for his next gig?
So my thing is this. If you're
he might be able to do something with him.
If you're an offensive guru, then you could take trash and make the trash look good.
That's true.
So we're seeing this live and in living color with Kyle Shanahan.
Right.
I mean, Kyle went from Lance, Garoppolo to Mr. Irrelevant, and they're still good, right?
Right.
Purdy. Because he's an offense group. We've seen him take a subpar quarterback and make him an MVP. We saw it in Atlanta with Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan has not been the same since Kyle Shanahan has left. So if Sean Payton is that kind of dude, and let's not get it twisted. Drew Brees was very good. He became great under Sean Payton.
Right.
Okay. So if Russ can be fixed by an offensive guru, I think Sean Payton is actually the type of kind of coach he needs. Now, the problem with Denver occupying that coaching seat, how many people want to sign up to play Patrick Mahomes twice a year?
That's another thing too. Yeah, I'm saying if Sean Payton really think he can win with Russ, because I'm saying he's gonna be in a tough division. You got Herbert twice, you got Mahomes twice. Not sure where the Raiders are going after Carr, but I know Mark Davis want him a quarterback, so eventually the Raiders are gonna have him a quarterback. So yeah,
I can make the argument that now the Broncos defense is better than the Chiefs, and I don't know about that.
But what offsets Kansas City is they got that man named Patrick Mahomes.
Oh yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah.
So that's what makes he's able to neutralize Denver's defense.
Right. Which we kept real. Like we tried to tell fans, Matt Ryan could not.
Right.
I mean, if you're gonna have a bad defense, you can't have a trash quarterback too.
Exactly.
I mean, not in today's era. Maybe back in the day when it was defense running, but not in today's era. No,
because
the game is evolutionized.
The game's changed and the rules are more geared toward offensive football.
Yeah.
You can't have both now. Either your defense gonna be good or your quarterback gonna be good.
For sure. All right, gentlemen, man. We've been on. We've talked a lot today, and it's been good.
No, these topics are gonna be like this.
All right, if y'all don't mind, man, let's skip the Falcons and Steelers report. Falcons are irrelevant now. The Steelers are holding on to dear life for their playoff berth. So we'll see if they find a way to remain relevant going to Week 17. We'll pick back up.
They got 2 games to make Mike Tomlin
I like what the Steelers are doing. I do like what they're doing.
Yeah,
Falcon report easy. We just going into Arizona, see if he can get this last win. If not, we're gonna lose the last two.
Nope, lose, get in the top 4 and get your quarterback. So
That's right. That's good point. Good point. That's right. So either way, it go Rev. It can't. My Falcons can't lose these next 2 weeks because if we lose the last two, we're gonna have a top 5 pick. Will or Jalen will be there for my Falcons. Let's pick some games.
Or CJ.
They can lose if they win. That's the
or CJ Stroud can do it too.
That if they can lose if they win. That's what
right. We're not gonna lose because I want Jalen or Will.
All right, let's look where we are with the NFL.
Or CJ. It don't matter. One of those three.
All right, here we are with the NFL standings as we get ready to pick.
That's right, Armani. Go on and hide your face.
Y'all, gentlemen.
I just need to get above.
Well, Dante said he got your assistance if you need it.
Let me just get above 500. Let me just get.
Here we are. Red and Coach both lost a game on me last week. I'm up 4 games now. Both of them were down 3 games. And both of them went 6-3. Armani went 6-3. And the Good Red went 7-2, doing his winning ways. And I think
not that far ahead, Real.
4 games. I'm starting to stretch it out, brother. Each week. Y'all go wrong. I stretch it out. It was 2.
I'm glad you're not saying what you usually say.
What's that?
Order has been restored. I'm glad that didn't come out.
It has been, but see, it's so ingrained in you. I didn't need to say it.
Here we go.
Right. So here we are.
Right into that one.
Here we are. We are with these picks. I'll go ahead on and start it. Now, the Cardinals versus the Falcons. I think the Cardinals game is in Atlanta. Am I correct?
It is.
Okay. All right. So let's get this pickle music. And Rev Night Nation, join us if y'all still with us.
Cardinals gonna find a way to win that game like some idiots.
And you know what? As we start, the first game is Cardinals versus Falcons. And I'm going to pick the Falcons because the Cardinals are just as bad. They don't have a Colt McCoy as a quarterback. And Desmond Ritter is looking to win his first game as a Falcons quarterback. Somebody brought up how he had a great home record as a Cincinnati Bearcat. And I think because Arizona's trash, Arizona is going to lose to the Falcons in Atlanta. I'm going to go with the Falcons. Coach, who you got?
Falcons. Arizona's in crisis. They don't know. They're going to the 3rd string quarterback, so they're in crisis. It's going to be the Falcons.
Armani, somebody said, I hope you got a nice Christmas bonus. Who you got, Armani?
Man, I guess I'll pick the Falcons, even though I don't want them to win. There's no point in winning the last 2 games and get yourself out of the quarterback sweepstakes or the Will Anderson sweepstakes or the Jalen Carter sweepstakes. You're not going anywhere. You're not winning anything. But the Falcons don't Falcon and win these next 2 games and get us to the 10th or 11th or the 12th pick in the draft like some dummies. So, Falcons.
All right, Red, who you got?
Don't worry about money. They're not gonna win the next 2 games. They might win one of them, and this might be the one that they win because Arizona has nothing. Bucks will be playing for something next week. Arizona ain't playing for nothing, which means Falcons will probably just have a field day with them. I kind of want to see Ritter get 1 win for the season over, but that's it, Falcons, just 1. Okay, and we'll still have a decent draft pick at 6 wins because, like I say, a lot of teams been winning games they shouldn't win. It's just so we'll be right there around. Just don't win against Tampa now. But I'm gonna take the Falcons.
Well, here's the thing. Before we go, Tampa does clinch if they beat the Panthers tomorrow, so they won't have nothing to play for.
So what's the point?
But that's why I don't want them to clinch. I want the Panthers to win tomorrow.
Gotcha. All right, let's move to the next game. Coach, tell us why the Steelers gonna beat the Ravens.
They still got that string they holding on to, trying to hang into the playoffs. And they'll know how they're going to play at the end of the day if some things fall their way. But I think they still playing for Coach Tomlin. They're not gonna let that winning streak go to waste. So they gonna play hard. And it always happens. The Ravens beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh. The Steelers beat the Ravens in Baltimore. So there you go.
Armani, who you got?
I'm gonna go with the Steelers. I like what Mike Tomlin is doing, motivating his players. Like, look, man, I'm not having a losing season under my belt. I'm not gonna let it happen. So I think the Steelers will win out and somehow, some way, creep their way into the playoffs. And I like how they handled the rookie quarterback situation, which is what Arthur Smith should have did a long time ago. But that's the difference between a rookie head coach and a real head coach, experienced head coach, and Mike Tomlin.
Red, who you got?
I'm with our money all the way. Everything he said, I second it. Even the Steelers winning because they're not gonna let Mike Tomlin have a losing season. And who knows? The Steelers win these last two, they might sneak themselves up in the play. Like everything coaching on money said, I'm just gonna second. I'm picking the Steelers.
I'm gonna make it unanimous. I'm going with the Steelers as well. Tomlin has once again done a phenomenal job getting the troops together. He is definitely a leader amongst men. So give me the Steelers as well. Let's see, Reverend Night Nation. Dante got Baltimore. Bud Martin got Steelers. Maurice Thor got Baltimore. And Bud Martin said, let's go Carolina. We're going to get to that game in just a minute. Armani, it's on you. Dolphins versus Patriots. This game is in New England.
What's the weather like in New England this week?
Probably snow.
Probably snowing. Tua.
He's not playing.
He not playing?
No, sir.
Yes,
52 degrees. I'm on it. 52 degrees. 52 degrees.
Who's Tua's backup?
Teddy Bridgewater.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Dolphins.
Oh,
it was that quick for you to say that.
Yeah. He can keep him afloat.
Okay. Red, who you got?
I'm with the Patriots. I'm done with the Dolphins. I've seen enough of the Dolphins. They have disappointed me for the last time. You hear that, Maurice? I am done with your Dolphins. Y'all blew it. Y'all choked. The Patriots gonna beat you, but don't worry, because Patriots ain't making the playoffs neither. You heard us all say we want the Steelers to get in, and that's what we going for. So we need the Dolphins to lose this week. Patriots can lose next week, and all y'all can go home. I am through with your Dolphins, Maurice. Through with them. Patriots.
I'm going with the Patriots as well. Belichick's gonna love game plan against Bridgewater.
Exactly, real.
So I'm going with the Patriots. Who you got, Coach?
please, Patriots beat the Dolphins. That's all I want.
Oh, that's right. That keeps the Steelers alive.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. That keeps the Steelers alive?
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
But it ain't like your pick gonna change. So. You still believe
Oh, God, dog.
I mean, I'm just saying it's about who you think gonna win. Like right. Just because you choose the Dolphins don't mean they're gonna win or not. That's what you think gonna win the game.
Yeah, dog, Armani. Just pick one, Armani. It don't matter. They don't.
I'm just trying to speak logic to him. That's all.
But he already picked, Coach.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next one before Armani messes himself up and tries to change his pick. Saints versus the Eagles is back.
Oh,
Lord. Red, it's on you.
I'm going with the Eagles. We all know I ain't picking no Saints. Definitely ain't picking them to win the best teams in the NFC. I don't care if it's Minshew or Jalen. I think Eagles win.
I'm going to go along with you. I'm sure Miss Brickers, if she's watching, will be happy that Rev, her pastor's going with her team. Especially this game is in Philadelphia. Minshew had a good showing, even though they turned the ball over against the Cowboys. They were in the game. I do believe that they have enough firepower to take that Saints. So give me the Eagles. Coach, who you got?
Garner Minshew and the Eagles. Yeah, the Saints don't have anything. They just treading water right now, just trying to finish the season. Minshew will steal some until they get Hurts right.
Armani, who you got?
Treading water. They drowning at this point. I'm going with the Eagles. They drowning. They're trying to swim back up. They can't get back up. They wearing themselves out, trying to get back to the surface.
All right, on to the next one. It's on me. Panthers versus Bucks. This has NFC South intentions. I'm gonna go with the Panthers, even though it's on the road. I think the Panthers got a formula on how to win some games. They went wild last week against the Detroit Lions with that running game. So I think what they did against the what they did against the Lions, they can do that against the Buccaneers. Didn't they just beat the Bucs 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they can duplicate that, and I think that defense is going to give Tom Brady some fit. So give me the Panthers. Who you got, Coach?
Rob Gronkowski coming back, right?
I'm not sure.
Okay. But Carolina still got Sam Darnold at quarterback, so I'm gonna go with the Bucks.
All right. Armani, who you got?
I'm gonna go with Carolina only because I don't want them to get ahead of us in the draft. So I'm gonna go with Carolina.
All right. Red, who you got, man?
I'm taking Carolina because I think Carolina's going to win. They have the defensive formula to keep Brady in check. Tampa Bay's offense not really scoring too much. I think Panthers can put up enough points as long as their defense is balling to get this victory. I know it's on the road, but they got running game. And I really like Sam Steve Wilson. I love how he's coaching his team. And I want him to have some head coaching consideration after the season. Win this game, and he definitely will.
All right. So we got 3 Panthers in the book. All right. Coach, it's on you. Browns versus Commanders.
Oh man, this game. Carson Wentz is back with the Browns quarterback. I mean, back with the Commanders. I mean, wow. All right, Browns.
Armani.
Browns. I think Deshaun Watson is finally getting acclimated with his new team. And I think he is miles and miles and eons and light years and whatever is at the light years ahead of Carson Wentz as far as being a quarterback. So I'm going with the Browns.
Red.
I'm taking the Commanders. They at home. They still got something to play for. Deshaun Watson ain't played that well since he been back. And like I said, he still got something to play for. Now, I don't know what Coach Rivera was doing with his QB situation, but they are at home. I think the defense will step up. I think the running game will help out Carson a little bit. He just got to make a few throws. I don't trust the Browns' offense, not that explosive. So I think Washington handle Cleveland at home and keep this playoff scenario for the NFC going one more week.
I'm going to go with the Browns. I just don't think the morale is good for the Commanders' offense. Just a couple of weeks ago, they were high on Taylor Heineke. Then they just got down on him real quickly, and then here we come to save the day, bring Carson Wentz. Okay, right. Sounds good to me. If that was the pre-injury Carson Wentz when he was with Philadelphia, when he's on the road and winning the Super Bowl for the Eagles, I'm all with it. But this Carson Wentz, this is the used cars version. I'm not with it. Give me the Cleveland Browns. All right, on to the next game. We got the Jets versus the Seahawks. Armani, I think we're on you.
I think Seattle is ahead of us in the draft too. I'm sorry.
Well, here's the thing. You got to be careful about that. Seattle's ahead because they got Denver's pick.
Oh, rats. Dang it. Oh.
I'm gonna just pick the game. Not worried about the draft picks.
Nah, I'm gonna go Seattle. I don't know. Do we pick the Broncos? Yeah, I'm gonna go Seattle.
Any reason why?
They at home.
All right, Brad, who you got?
Excuse me, y'all. I'm rolling with Seattle. Geno Smith still got one more hurrah to play for to sneak into these playoffs. I like him as a better quarterback than Mike White coming off a rib injury. And if Mike White ain't playing, then you got Joe Flacco, and I'll take Geno Smith over both of these guys. They got the 12th man on the side. Now the Jets defense, don't get me wrong, that defense is nothing to play around with. I love Sauce Gardner, but still, you've got to be able to make some plays on the offensive side of the ball, and we just haven't seen the Jets be consistent at that since they've been playing around with these quarterbacks. Seattle's a little bit more consistent on the offensive side of the ball. They at home. They still got something to play for. I'm going to ride with Geno.
All right, I'm going with Seahawks as well. I don't think New York is that kind of team yet that can win a game.
Yes, you do.
It's the 12th man. Not in Seattle. That's a whole nother environment, whole nother coach. So that's something to take into consideration. So I'm going with Seattle. Who you got, Coach?
Rev, you should think the Jets are a great ball club, improving every week.
Now, they were improving, but then they had some
I tried. I'm with Seattle because they beat the Jets. That means bye-bye Jets. We move up ahead of them. I'm going with Seattle.
All right, so it's unanimous with Seattle. Except for Alexis Hill, he's going with the Jets. Vikings versus Packers. Red, it's on you.
Well, what have we finally come down to? Heat versus Cousins in Green Bay. I love you, Vikings. I can't believe it. Yeah, I hear the wind blowing, fellas. Don't worry, I'm finna make a pick. I'm gonna go Green Bay. Oh, I don't know. I think this pick may kill me right here. I'm gonna go. You know what? Scrap that. I'm gonna be consistent. I'm gonna stick with Kirk. I'm gonna stick with the Vikings. I've been riding with them all year. No point of jumping off now. I might be wrong on this one, but I'm gonna go ahead and ride you out. Kirk Cousins, the Vikings. Y'all been doing it for me all year. I ain't finna turn my back on you now just because Green Bay got a little hot and Tua got a little crazy last week throwing them picks. It's gonna be a good one though. Green Bay, this is it. Lose this game, you're done. Minnesota, you can put the Vikings away and go ahead and be relaxing for the last week. I got you, Minnesota.
Kirk Cousins is still a starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. He still choked, oftentimes in big situations. This game is in Lambeau Field. Green Bay is still trying to play for some level of respectability. So it then goes, who do you trust more, Kirk Cousins or Aaron Rodgers? Give me Aaron Skeet Rodgers, as Red calls him, any day of the week. So I'm going with the Packers.
Oh, man. Do you know what? Yeah, give me the Vikings because I got to try to catch up. God dog it. I thought you were going to go with the Vikings. I thought you were going with the Vikings.
You still got the playoffs, Coach. Now, you still got the playoffs. You still got week 17 now. Be smart.
They try, yeah. They try to do it all in 1 week.
Because Aaron Rodgers, I think they improved on defense as well. That defense has been very opportunistic that last couple of weeks. So I'm going with the Packers.
All right, that's smart. That's smart. You can't catch me.
I don't want no trouble.
Armani, who you got, brother?
I'm gonna go with the Vikings. Skeet might be on his way up out of there. Possibly. I don't know how the cap hit would. Oh, well, if the cap hit too bad, he ain't going nowhere. But they're just trending down. I don't know if they can find a way to, get back to where they were. So
who's trending down?
The Packers. Like I'm talking about, like as far. No. I'm talking about as far as like they haven't been what they were in the past. Not just this season.
They're on a 4-game winning streak. Just keep that in mind.
Okay? All right. Well, I'm going with the Vikings still.
All right, like 2 teams that seem to always find some way. Steelers in the AFC, Packers in the NFC.
That's true.
All right, last game is on me. This is the doozy. This is the game of the week. Bills versus the Bengals. Lord knows I love Josh Allen as a quarterback and Joe Burrow. I am not going against Joe Burrow this time of year. Joe Burrow is that dude. He's at home. He is the only guy that can take down my guy Mahomes, and he's been doing it consistently. And he's just a gamer. Give me Joe Burrow in the Cincinnati Bengals. Who you got, Coach?
I'm staying with the Bills because the Bills are still trying to get that home field advantage. You know, playing in Buffalo is like playing in a doggone blue. I'm gonna stay with Buffalo. They trying to steal it, keep it from Kansas City. So I'm staying with Buffalo.
Armani, who you got?
I'm gonna go with the Bills because I cannot stand I can't stand any LSU quarterback. I don't care if his name is. I don't care if it is Joe Burrow.
Lord have mercy.
Anything coming from the Bayou, can't stand it. So,
Red, close it out.
Yeah, I don't understand that logic at all. I'm taking Joe Burrow, the Bengals. They gonna take care of business. They've been taking care of business since the boy been in the NFL, and this ain't gonna change. They at home. They are the team that has not choked. They're the team that does better in the big game. I'm taking Joe Burrow. He not at LSU no more, Armani. You know that, right?
I don't care.
All right, gentlemen. We are finished with our picks. We'll post them up. We'll see if there's some movement in the standings. We'll see if Red and Coach got any closer, and we'll see if Armani got any better, and we'll go from there. All right. This is it, brothers. We're closing this show out with you have the right. So who has the right to do what, when, where, and how? Who wants at it first?
I'll take Bulldogs. You got a right to go ahead and make me a happy man, getting this back-to-back titles. But it starts today. You take care of Ohio State, and then we'll be sitting back waiting on Michigan in a week, and then handle that business. And we back-to-back titles, baby. And this is probably my lifetime, my first back-to-back championship. So I'm a little nervous, but man, I'm just really waiting. I can feel it. I can anticipate it. Come on, Bulldogs. You have the right to dominate.
All right. Sound a little primish right there. Dominate. All right. Who wants at it next? Coach, you got it?
Yeah. Armani. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I ain't gonna mess with you the time. College football bowl games, you had a right to stay competitive and keep us going with this good bowl season you have. You got some good games. I don't want to see any blowouts, even though the Alabama Kansas State game looking like that now, getting ready to be. But
Who winning, Coach?
20-10 Alabama.
Woohoo!
21-10, I'm sorry. So keep us going bowl season. They got some more good games, and let's see what happens.
All right, Armani.
Coach Saban, you have the right to let Bill O'Brien and who's our DC name? Dang, I can put my name on, see his face, and let our DC go because it's just time. It's time to blow the whole coaching staff up. It's just time.
Wow. Wow, that's a lot to say to a dynasty team, you know.
Yeah. I thought the dynasty wasn't over. So I guess Rev was right. The dynasty is over.
We're blowing up coaching staffs.
Yeah.
I mean, usually we have coordinators going to other schools because that's what we do. But you know, hey.
All right. Man, I can't dismiss Georgia. Georgia, you have the right to take care of home field advantage, home state advantage. You couldn't ask for a better situation. You had the choice between playing in Atlanta and Arizona. You chose Atlanta. You're less than 90 minutes from your own fan base. Georgia fans, you have the right to turn this into a home game for Georgia so Georgia can go ahead on, advance to national championship and bring this back-to-back championships to the state of Georgia and therefore be the latest back-to-back champs since the Crimson Tide. And then also, I believe there's another team or two that's done it in the past, but Georgia, you'll be the most recent and therefore you will be the most dominant.
Now, would Georgia be the first one in the college football playoff era?
No, Alabama did it.
That was
They were-
no, we did.
Yeah, I did it in the, well, you're right. The college football playoff era is different from the BCS.
Yeah,
So that would be
done it. Yeah, it'll be
USC dominate the BCS. They did.
They did it in the BCS era. So yes, that'd be correct. All right, gentlemen. It was real.
It was long.
Let's see, Falcons, you have the right to win at home. We have players to trade to get a quarterback. I like Ritter, though. With that said, I'm closing the show down in 2022 by begging to get Maurice Thornton just fired Vincent Woodruff.
Oh, boy. That's going to be a battle next week.
Reverend Nation has the right to party and be safe.
Have Happy New Year. Yeah, that's right. Have a Happy New Year, everybody.
Oh, yes, right.
Creator Barbara Walters. Yes, great spirit, great soul. Barbara Walters. And also wonder why you're in your feelings about Alabama playing the Sugar Bowl. You can stand the value. Okay. All right. Well, that's a wrap. Thank you all for blessing us with a great 2023. You all have been wonderful, and you all have helped the show continue to maintain what it is. We look forward to bigger and better things in 2023. Reverend Night Nations, keep staying with the show. Tell others about the show. And we're looking forward to some great episodes. Yeah.
Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year from the Red and Red Sports Show. Enjoy your New Year holidays. Be safe. Enjoy the games. Catch up on your movies. And we'll be ready for you in 2023. Why I can't wait.
Armani, you should have told Maurice Thor when he said something about the buy. You should have said, well, buy you.
All right, gentlemen. We're out of here. Be blessed, everybody. Be safe. Happy New Year, gentlemen.